What is going on, everybody? How are we doing on this fine Thursday evening? My name is Eric, and welcome to Q2C VR Gamer Live. We are a weekly VR talk show that airs live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we go live to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Kick. I don't know. Is there anywhere else? I don't know if I missed anything. I think I got them all. But if you cannot catch us live, everybody, you can always catch us afterwards on your favorite podcast platform. But I was going to say I am behind a couple episodes. I promise to our listeners on podcasting platforms. I'll get to them right away. But before we go any further, let me say hello to my partner from the great Canadian Northwest. He's the man with the plan, the commander-in-chief, and the master of the menage a trois. John Holmes has nothing on him, ladies. Todd Jackson, what is going on, man? How you doing?
Oh my God. Hi diddly, ho diddly. What did you say? Oh my God. You should have seen pre-show. It was fantastic.
These things just pop in my head, and I'm like, I started laughing during making the notes, and Todd's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, I don't know why this popped into my head, but this is going to be your opening tonight, dude. That's where we ended up.
That's where we ended up. Yeah, you went there. Right. Excellent.
How's it going, man? How's your week going?
Good. Yeah. Crazy busy, but it's always busy. Like I say that every week, but
you do say that every
life,
week.
Right? Yeah,
it is life. It is life. And I don't think I've ever seen you as excited for a show as we are going to be doing tonight, because we're going to talk about probably one of your favorite topics. Like, literally, you're like, when you talk about Immersed, you're like a dog that wants you to walk it. You know, you have your dogs, and they're like all over. They want to go outside, and they're like, let's go outside. We got to go outside. Let's go outside. That's you talking about Immersed.
I have this obsession with working in VR. I don't want to just play games, and I don't want to just have an experience. I want to be productive, and I want to work. I work a lot, and I just enjoy to work in VR. So, I found Immersed about 2 years ago, maybe, and I used it for a little bit, and there were so many of them that came out at the same time. I tried them all. And then I think it was probably May or June or something. I was talking with Nathy, and he's like, you got to get back into Immersed. They've changed a whole bunch of stuff. And the rest is history. Now I can't get out of it. So I love it.
I mean, I remember you early on. You're like, we need to do our meetings, when we get
together. I tried everything to get you guys, everybody, to get into VR.
You're like, come on, Lee's like, let's do our show prep stuff and Immersed. We'll go in and got all these screens. And I did go in a couple times with you, and I thought it was freaking amazing. But you do it all the time, and like you have even brought it into your personal work life, in IT, where you try and bring your clients and trying to do some stuff in VR.
I take my headset with me to clients, and so when I'm doing work, I'm me sitting at my laptop, but I got a VR headset on, and that always sparks conversation as to what the hell are you doing. And you slap them on a headset with Immersed, and they're sitting on a space station orbiting Earth, and they're freaking out. So yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's do that. Let's. I want to get into this with our guest tonight, because it's super exciting, and it's the scope and landscape of the VR world is ever changing, and that's what I love about it. And but let's say hello to our chat first before we get into this, and let's just say hello to everybody. Bluebell is here. Says unfortunately she's going to have to catch this one on the back end, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. You can always catch us afterwards. Techno Glitch is here. VR Spry Guy is here. Tasselhoff is here. What is up, Mr. Tasselhoff? How are you doing? Let's see, who else do we have? What did I say? Mind Jive is here. Classy Grandma is here. Hey, Classy Grandma, how are you doing? Ollie VR Port, Kubo 92, Mickey Bear. What's up, Mickey? How you doing? Traffic's Tactics is here. The VR Gaming is here, or TBC VR Gaming. I'm sorry. Who else do we have here? Hijet Gaming is here. Getting Things Done is here. What is up, dude? How are you doing? Thank you for your message earlier. You rock, man. Let's see. Who else do we have? Assassin 32 VR is here. Virtual Steve is here. Says thumbnail is fire, Todd.
Thank you. Excellent. I like it.
You didn't make it.
I didn't make it. Well, it felt like I made it. People I interviewed. My God.
I know. We got a guy, new person making thumbnails, and he is pretty fire, and he's rocking and rolling on it. We're happy.
Just a quick shout out to Classy Grandma. She just dropped a $10 super chat. I did it. I made it. How's it going with some of my favorite VR people? Whoop whoop. So thank you, Classy Grandma.
Yeah, thanks, Classy Grandma. We appreciate it. Thank you for your ever non-ending support. We appreciate you. Rattlehead 9026 is here. Kubo 92, I think I already said. Chris 9989, Paul Fennesley, Todd Orland Hooper's here.
Orland
Hooper's jacked, yo. Damn right he is. He's jacked. Jacked man. I love him. Daniel Kaz is here. Brandon VR is here. Creeper Betty is here. What is up, Betty? How are you doing?
It's always good to see Creeper Betty. She started a new Discord server today.
She
Which is pretty
did.
cool.
She did. Actually, I was Discord
Being
member number
flooded with new
one.
members.
I was
Whoa.
Discord member number one of Betty's
Fancy.
new server. Fourth Wall Breaker is here. Rohan Gandhi is here. Thank you for coming in, saying hi. Jeff Weiser is here. Philosix is here. Big Will 88 is here. Big W88. What's up, Will from Real Optics? How you doing, man? Traveling Man 3775. Bad Robo is here. Let's see who else we got. Jamin Kelly is here. We got some new people. We got a Skiba 007 sighting. What is up, dude? How are you doing? I think Skiba is as excited for tonight's show as anybody else as well, Todd.
I know, right? He's a techno geek like I am. So
Polish Hammer's here. Jeff Weiser is here, and Ronnie Samuel Whiny Witch. And that I'm gonna call it right there. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But guess what? I just want to move along because I want to get to our guest, who's pretty damn kick ass. And let me get to where are we here? Gotta get to my notes, Todd. I need notes. There we go. Let me introduce the founder and CEO of the app Immersed and the upcoming Immersed Visor headset, Renji Bijoy. How you doing, Renji? Thanks for coming.
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great, dude.
Awesome.
It sounds really, really good. You got the setup there, man. I was talking to you about it. It sounds really, really good.
You sound perfect. Yeah.
All the credit goes to my content team, man. Those guys are awesome, man. If you ever see like Josh Curry on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, like all those guys, Tim and John Daniels, like those guys are awesome, man.
It's nice to have a room like that, right? Where you can just get into and you can do these little things, or get into the screen and do a meeting or something like that. It's super cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Hell yeah. I just want to say, number one, thank you for coming in. I know you must be extremely busy. We really appreciate it. When Todd reached out and said, we have a chance to do this, I'm like, let's do it as fast as we possibly can, just because, it's an exciting time. And I was just talking about the landscape of virtual reality and how it's ever changing and things kind of happen and move in and out. And it is exciting times. And I do want to get into the headset, but I want to first kind of dive in a little bit with you. Let people know a little bit about you, and tell us how you came to into be your path, into founding Immersed first, and then we can kind of get into some of the techs of the Visor.
Coming up. I could talk about that. Yeah, so it's funny because I actually was pre-med in undergrad to start with, right? So yes, I'm technically the CEO / CTO. Yeah, well, actually went to Emory first. Aren't you that blue sign right there? Yeah,
I see it now.
Yeah, so. Went there because it's a good pre-med school, but man, I really loved math and computer science, and so started coding when I was 20, so kind of late to the game. Not like Zuckerberg or Elon Musk that started when they were 8, but for me, I started when I was 20 and loved it. It was really cool to be able to build stuff that other people could use, and it would just automate their life or make their lives easier, right? So, for example, like my wife was an accountant, and she for like 12 hours a week of the 40 hours would have to sort bills manually, looking at the PDFs, looking at the apartment number, and then sort it. And I was like, man, that's a huge waste of time. So I just coded like a quick OCR plugin, computer vision thing that ultimately would sort the bills for her. And 12 hours turned into 30 seconds. And then the rest of the time went towards watching Netflix. So,
Nice.
I'm kidding a little bit. But at the end of the day, when I realized, man, I could build stuff that other people can use and like it makes their life easier. I think that's a way that I could get up out of bed every morning being excited to go to work, as opposed to, it's nothing wrong with saving lives as a doctor or something, but man, building tech, I almost wanted to figure out a way to fuse the two together. So things like robotic arms or something, right? But anyways, I got into med schools and got my acceptance letters, and I was like, man, am I really going to commit to this thing? Ultimately, I didn't pull the trigger, obviously, and I threw all my acceptance letters in the trash. My parents were super upset.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna go be a coder somewhere. And they're like, what the crap is wrong with you? Who would do this? And very quickly, I sort of climbed the corporate tech ladder, so to speak. By the time I was 23-ish, 23 and a half, I was a lead software architect at just one of sort of these larger companies. And I mean, if you look at my LinkedIn, you'll find it anyway. And I realized, man, in the web world, I feel like I'm hitting somewhat of a ceiling. I really want to move into AI somehow. So I then quit that job and then focused on a PhD at Georgia Tech, computer vision, machine learning, self-driving cars, autonomous drones, things like that. That was kind of my first dive into hardware. Because no one's going to build me a dev kit for a self-driving car, especially back in 2014, before Teslas were even a thing, or at least self-driving Teslas were a thing. And yeah, I mean, we also worked on autonomous drones. It's really, really cool, but it was going to be 8 years. So I was like, all right, I don't know if I could devote 8 years
Wow,
towards
that's a
this.
long program, man.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Because I mean, multiple people there. It felt like they were almost like handcuffed. Like the I guess research professor would have to agree, or I guess vote that their thesis was a good one, and then hey, you're released to go live your life. And ultimately, it just seemed like it was a cycle of doing cool research so that we can get more grants, so we could do more cool research. And I was like, man, I don't want to just like add a leaf to the tree of knowledge. I just want to go build a whole new tree. And so after 3 years, I quit, and then that's when I started Immersed. So we went through we actually got accepted to a couple of different accelerator programs, one called Y Combinator, another one called Techstars. So we were finalists at both, but Techstars was more business focused, whereas Y Combinator was more product focused, which I already had a product background. I knew nothing about legal, hiring, finance, fundraising, marketing, etc. I just
Techstars like a entrepreneur's playground, right? Like it's a place where you can just go and get so much information.
Exactly. So they essentially throw you into a 3-month boot camp of how do you build businesses, like just an MBA program for 3 months with people who have sold companies for hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. So like the founders of Groupon, Lightbank, like a lot of different people in the Chicago area were running our program. And don't get me wrong, Y Combinator is great too. If anything, they're even better, where companies like Airbnb, Dropbox, Reddit, Twitch, Stripe, those all went through YC. Companies like Uber, ClassPass, Twilio, SendGrid, DigitalOcean, those went through Techstars. So both are great programs, but I really needed to learn how to be a CEO, not just a CTO, because I didn't have a co-founder when starting Immersed. And so
that's the tough part, right? The CTO part, is the CEO part. That's the hard part when you're getting into these things.
Yeah. And so little did I know, though, it would be a huge advantage in years to come that being a technical CEO was a huge advantage when trying to fundraise for a tech startup. Because I think a lot of non-technical CEOs will sound very salesy and not realize it. And also people will ask them technical questions if they're building a tech startup and not really know how to answer it, and thus not instill confidence in the people who are investing in them. And so, I mean, it was a great experience. I would probably never do it again because it was just like insane. I mean, it was 6 a.m. till like 11 p.m. every night and somehow figure out how to run your company outside of that.
That's quite the boot camp, like 3 months. That's a lot of information in such a little time, right?
It
That's
was.
crazy.
I'm getting tired just talking about it, but I think at the end of the day, like going through that program is super helpful. I hear it's not what it used to be, so it was definitely a magical time at the time. But fast forward for the next, I would say 2.5, 3 years, me and a couple of other people on the team at the time, and most of which are still here, we were really sort of just heads down, iterating on the product. We weren't on the Oculus store at the time. We were just a side-loaded app, and by July 2019, I realized, crap, we have like 5 or 6 months of runway left. I got to go fundraise again, because we only had, at that point, had only raised like 800K maybe, but that's 800K for like 2.5 years for several engineers. And I started fundraising. By November 2019, we had $3 million hard committed, but then one of our lead investors said, hey, one of our partners who help fund these deals is based in China, and there's some kind of crazy pandemic or something happening in China. So we're going to have to pull out of this round. And thus the entire $3 million round unraveled. So fast forward to November 2019, Immersed had $0. And I went to my team in tears saying, I guess y'all can go look for jobs because we don't have any money. And man, I felt like I wasted the past 3 years of building this company, dragged my wife all around the US. I was torn. But after a couple more months, that's when Meta had reached out, Facebook at the time, saying, hey, like we're, this thing called COVID is forcing everyone to work from home. And we are considering figuring out how to bring the first non-gaming app to the Oculus store, which ended up being us. And so they helped us a ton in regards to QA. And that was enough traction for us to be able to open up our first crowdfunding campaign where users, followers, friends, and family could get their money into the company as well, because we felt like everyone's working from home. This started clicking for people. I started receiving texts from random people from like high school and college and just anywhere, any person I've ever met saying, holy crap, now I understand what you're doing, because that's where working from home started registering for people. And so, we raised $2 million within 2 days. Whereas previously it would take me 6 months just to get 300K together. And then fast forward 8 months after that $2 million round, we raised an $8 million round within 2 weeks. And that was the world's fastest crowdfunding campaign at the time.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then, I guess at that point, I mean, just sort of off to the races. Fast forward to today, to my knowledge, and based on people behind the scenes at Meta. I'm not going to name names because maybe they'll get in trouble. I don't know. But they said that Immersed is has the most amount of cumulative usage. Our users in the past couple of years have spent 1,200 years in Immersed.
That's
Isn't
crazy.
that crazy?
Think
Yeah,
about that.
I
1.2
mean-
millennia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let me just back up just a little bit. So was it always a VR thing for you though, or was it?
No, I mean,
yeah, it was more about the software, the app itself, right?
Yeah.
The VR part of it, the virtual reality part of it was kind of secondary.
yeah, it's funny because I committed to starting Immerse before I'd ever even tried VR.
Yeah, right?
So I have my Google Cardboard up there on the corner. I guess it's off screen, but my Google Cardboard up there that I bought back in 2017 for the first time I ever tried it. And I understand I'm late to the game. I know that Guy Godin and Darshan, all those other guys, kind of with screens in VR, they started back in like 2015 and 16 or 14 or whatever. I was kind of late to the game after 3 years after Oculus got acquired, and everyone and their mom started a new VR startup 2014, 15, and 16, and then 2017 VCs are all, I guess, licking their wounds from all the failures in VR, and then enter Renji. There's no VC money left at that point.
You're like, I'm late to the game. Okay, here we go. No money
yeah,
left.
it was definitely rough. But again, like I really, if you look at the story, I really cared about building cool tech that would make people's lives easier. And I remember at that point when I had to pick an idea, something to work on, going through that TechStars program, I knew I wanted to solve a problem that I had personally experienced. And up until that point, like every software development team I'd ever been on or had led, more and more people started working from home. And at the time it was very niche, right? We used to Skype to get into the same room together, so to speak, back then. And I knew that no one who I knew outside of that, like in my personal life, even resonated with that at all. So when I pitched the idea, even the TechStars program was like, what the crap? But I was like, I'm telling you, I think this is gonna be a bigger and bigger problem in the future. And so that's another mistake a lot of people do make in the entrepreneurial world. They try to pick a big market now rather than a market that's gonna be big soon.
Right.
And so for me, I didn't know that COVID was gonna happen, obviously, but I knew that this was trending upwards. And as technology was gonna get better, I knew that more and more people start working from home. And I knew that at the end of the day, if I can be that solution that's almost like the next generation of Zoom or Skype or whatever, like the state of the art of remote work just can't be video conferencing and chat. And I said that back in 2017, and then it felt like we were 20 years too late. Fast forward 6 more years, and still this video conferencing and chat is still the state of the art.
Yeah.
So my mission at this point is, because I hate remote work, and I'm being very straightforward. Like, I don't like remote work. I hate the fact that we have to be apart and we can't get into the same room to collaborate. That's why I'm building Immerse. Not because I love it, but because I'm trying to make it feel like we are together, even though we can't be, if that makes sense. So
That is a really good take on it. Yeah, because you do feel that way. Like even when you're in public rooms or you're not maybe co-working with fellow employees, you're just in a room with strangers. It feels real.
Yeah, and I think that like there are times where in the past I used to feel a level of imposter syndrome because I felt like I wasn't like the rest of the other VR indie devs out there. I didn't necessarily love playing 20 hours a week worth of games in VR. For me, I just love getting my work done. I love being able to be on my computer in VR and in cool environments. And I love to be with my remote team together. Yeah. And so
Todd's insane.
I mean, dude, all the time people ask me, what's your favorite game? And I'm like,
Work.
to be real, like I don't play a bunch of games. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any. And like I've tried cool games. It's just it's not enough to bring me back just yet. Like I am a game. Like I'm wearing Space Station Gaming T-shirt. Like Halo, right, is my favorite video game, and I play that on the Xbox. But there's not a VR version of that just yet that feels the same. So all that to say, like I would say for the first 3 or 4 years, I felt a little bit of imposter syndrome. But then I realized I was like, man, we're carving a new path here. I'm not necessarily looking to be sort of the gaming wave, and nothing against it. Again, I'm a gamer, just not in VR. And I'm trying to carve out more of a new technological path, right? We want this to be the next sort of generation of computing, right? So a 3D internet, so to speak, a 3D computer, all of that. That's what I want to really build here. And having a background of being a general technologist, going from web to hardware / computer vision machine learning to going through an accelerator program, and then now getting into VR for the first time, just VR software, and then now kind of moving into VR hardware for the first time. It's exciting and it's really encouraging, because what's funny is a lot of the hardware partners that I'm working with, they just assume I have like a 10-year background in hardware, and I don't. Right?
Nope.
I dabbled with it in grad school, and then I've been doing it for like the past year. But no, and it's funny because a lot of the stuff that my team brings to them is really like not enlightening, but like profound to them. I'm like, all right, well, I guess it's just, here's the thing. I think what allows us to make those types of interesting and unique decisions for the type of hardware that we're creating is because we have the user feedback and user usage that no one else really has. Meaning, the only other people that would probably build a headset like this, or rather, the only other people that it makes sense to build a headset like this, or they're incentivized to build a headset like the Visor, are those who are creating apps for working in VR.
Right.
Who's that? Like Workrooms, and then
Mhm.
like vSpatial or Glued Out Work or some of the other ones out there. But if they're not going to create a headset solely focused on work, then it's really just going to be us for that.
Yeah,
And
Yep.
yeah, sure, we're the experts because we're the only ones doing it. So here
right,
we are.
exactly. And let's hit on that point because there's a lot of people either watching now or going to watch later that may not exactly understand what Immersed is. And before we can talk about the Visor, we have to talk about Immersed
Yeah.
and how great this thing is, because without Immersed there is no Visor. The
Yeah.
Visor is created because of Immersed. So
Yeah.
it's the software. You're creating the hardware to support the software, and that
Yeah.
is what I think people need to understand here. The software is so important that has compelled you to become a hardware manufacturer. So,
Yeah.
in your words, just tell everybody what Immersed is. Like,
Yeah.
what
So
what can you do in Immersed?
yeah. So in 2 words, it's VR offices or maybe mixed reality offices. Really, it's the ability to take pretty much any other headset that's out there, a standalone headset. It wirelessly connects your headset to your laptop. It spawns 5 virtual screens, software emulated screens. So you can really just take your headset and your laptop to your couch or your porch, or if you're in the airport or in a hotel room, you have 5 screens with you at all times. But it's not just that, the ability to focus by yourself, but also you could have your remote team in that space with you. If they have their headset, they could be quite literally sitting by you side by side, even though they're remote. And you could have all your screens around each other. You can code together. You can whiteboard together. It's quite literally building a mixed reality or virtual reality office for your remote hybrid team. And so we've gotten to the point where I don't know, like regardless of the fact that a lot of today's big bulky headsets, 2-pound headsets, hurt a lot of people's necks after too many hours consecutively, we've managed to figure out how to get people to work in our app 40 to 50 hours a week every week. And so that's kind of where the 1.2 millennia stat has come from, is the software has been so compelling to help people focus and collaborate more effectively than previously, to the point where they're using it so much. And now we want to make sure that those who refuse to put on a 2-pound bulky headset on their head, that the barrier is now, I guess, leap stepped, so that they no longer have to worry about that and can also be part of this experience on the software side now with a better form factor that they're willing to put on for work. So again, there are other headsets out there that are great for gaming, and the companies working on gaming headsets are incentivized to keep creating those headsets that are optimal for
Right.
that. But for our user base and for our user experience and for my friends and family who want to start working in VR, because no one else really is incentivized to create the type of form factor that we are, we're going to create a headset that's much thinner. So, I mean, I guess, Eric, if you want, I can kind of talk about what Visor is, which might be
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say first that, I mean, again, the motivations for Visor is, it is form factor, right? It's size, it's comfort, it's form factor. And I guess before we get into like what Visor is, let's talk about the pathway, because I assume at some point you were like, okay, we have this amazing software.
Yeah.
We have people that are spending a lot of time in it. How do we broaden that?
Yeah.
How do we get more people in? How do we get more people to spend more time, be more
Yeah.
comfortable? And then you probably looked around trying to find a partner, right? I assume,
Yeah.
because the path from I can make software to I can make hardware is
Very
I mean,
difficult.
you may have to tell people that's a huge gap to
It's
be able to
huge.
do that. So I would imagine that you probably at first went, okay,
Yeah.
who can I partner with?
Exactly. Yep. So, I mean, named the AR VR tech giant. I reached out to them. I talked to them, and not only via a video call, I like flew to them. I like spent hours and hours in a conference room with them, talking through everything. And at the end of 100% of our meetings, everyone agreed with me. And so I'm like, all right, so are we gonna do this thing? And they're like,
Great.
no, we're not. I'm like, what?
That's the tech industry, man. Like, yes, we
Yeah.
agree with everything you're saying, and we're not going to do any of it.
Exactly. Because again, it really comes down to alignment of incentives, right? Like if they are seeing way more revenue come in from a different avenue, then it doesn't make sense for them to work on your thing. And I get it, right? So a lot of them want us to kind of prove this out and see us get traction. And if we do, then others will enter the space as well. And that'll be a good incentive for us for to keep moving quickly and innovating and creating a better product. So competition is good. But all that to say, There are other partners who they are incentive aligned with us who don't necessarily directly make this type of product, right? So, for example, Qualcomm and Intel, those are the two who now I can legally say their names. There's one more partner I'm excited to announce, but I can't legally say their name yet. And so we're working on that. But for Qualcomm and Intel, they want to be able to sell more chips. That's all Qualcomm cares about, right? Like that's what their main mission is. And so the Visor is going to have a Qualcomm chip in it, and thus they will hook us up with all of their partners in manufacturing, supply chain, like design, everything. And they have the best chip in the world, apart from obviously what's on the Apple Vision Pro, which is a whole MacBook chip in it.
Right.
But the the Qualcomm XR2, I mean, there's nothing like it out there. And so all that to say, like working with them, that partnership was very, very key. I don't know how anyone is trying to create a standalone VR headset without working with them. I'm pretty sure they have like 90 something plus percent market share.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
but
yeah.
and then on the Intel side, like this is unique for us. Not everyone who's creating a standalone headset needs to even have this partnership with Intel, but we do because we work with laptops and computers, right? So, and Intel is not 100% of the market, maybe 30% market share, but there's still like AMD and Nvidia and others that we still want to continue. I mean, we're having these conversations and figuring out what those partnerships can look like. We'd love to be able to make sure that Immersed on any sort of laptop, the software and the hardware for Visor, it works seamlessly as if it was part of its own ecosystem, right? As if it was like an Apple Vision Pro that was made for Macs, but rather in everything else. So I think that's kind of been very, very key to us being able to execute on hardware. A lot of people who enter the hardware space, I will say, let me put it this way. Actually, let me kind of put things in perspective. So when you think about, let's go back to the mobile app market, right? Just software. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people out there and companies out there. So millions of people and hundreds of thousands of companies who for the past 20 years, or I would say 15 years, have been trying to create the next Uber, the next Airbnb, or whatever apps that have been exploding on the iPhone and Android devices. And hundreds of thousands of these companies are trying to figure this out. When you look at hardware, way less people are doing that. When you look at VR hardware, even less people are doing that. So when people say things like, "Oh, this is such a difficult problem," and the hit rate is so low, like so many of these projects have announced their project and then have failed. I'm like, well, what's the sample size? Like 13 or less? Well, yeah, of course. Like, what are the chances that those 13, in comparison to the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people having success or not on the app side, like that these 13 are a good sample size, right? So all that to say, like, at least for me, I think that the good indicators of people who are entering the hardware space and are probably a de-risked or a less risky investment are those who have proven success elsewhere and know how to ship a product. Meaning, if it's a brand new founder for the first time who's getting into hardware and it's like, have you never really shipped anything? Oh yeah, but I've tinkered with stuff. Totally different world. Do you have any partners? No, but we'll figure it out. That's probably not wise. But so I'll some kudos to Big Screen Beyond, for example. Like with Big Screen, Darshan's been working on Big Screen, the app, for the past like decade. And so when it comes to hardware, yes, it's new for him. He's never worked on hardware before. It's quite a bit of a learning curve. No real partnerships in place necessarily, except for like on the movie theater side, but not on the hardware side. And so, but they've figured out, and that's why it's taken 2-3 years for them to get to where they are now. For us, like to be real, like in the past year, we've been starting our hardware journey, right? Because I've been trying to get other people to build it for the past however many couple of years, and they said no. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we have to. And so I've been kind of going back to my hardware roots from grad school a little bit. Again, that's more tinkering. I haven't brought anything to production on the hardware side, but on the software side, we've been doing nothing but shipping on software before Immersed. I mean, I was working on an application that was sort of like the TikTok for CNN, and it ended up growing to, so I was the chief architect on that, essentially like raised the team up, built all of it, shipped it within 6 months. And then within 2 months of release, we had 3 million daily active users. So I got to see a successful product that I got to lead. I didn't pay for it. CNN paid for it, but so there's no financial risk. But when starting Immersed, okay, I have some of that growth hacking experience, like building products, building a team, and then growth hacking it, then bring that to the startup world now, plus the financial risk. Okay, now I need to figure out ways to not only be funded, but also incentivize my team to move fast. And our incentive is all our friends and family's money is in this thing, right? So like we don't want to screw them over. And so incentives are aligned for us to move very, very quickly. And moving into hardware is the only thing we believe is going to allow us to grow to a much, much bigger total addressable market. Because here's the alternative. The alternative is based on everything we're seeing behind the scenes at all the other AR VR tech giants that we're partnered with on the software side, right, to bring Immersed to their app stores, everything that we're seeing behind the scenes, it'll probably be at least 4 or 5 years or more until there's this thin, sleek pair of glasses that my friends and family are going to want to purchase to then use Immersed.
Right.
Do I want to sit around like I'm already in year 7 at this point with Immersed? Am I going to wait another 4 or 5 years? Like, is it going to be a 12-year journey before my friends and family start using Immersed? I don't think that makes sense. And I would rather bet on my team and our ability to ship product. And some people on my team's hardware experience, and then new hires, hardware experience, and then external partners who've already done this for decades before us. I would bet on that team. And to be real, like I wouldn't bet my friends and family's money on this thing had I not thought that this was the fastest route to a success for all of them.
Why? Let me ask you a question though. Why do you think the tech giants are so far away from that? If you can do it, if you can do it, if you not a hardware company who has billions of dollars behind you, if you can do it, why won't they do it? And is it because it's more for one use and they are looking for something for multi-use?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so I mean, you hit the nail on the head. So it's again back to incentives. Zuckerberg wants to have the holy grail device that is generalized for all use cases. That like think about this. For the past 20 years, he's had to be subject to the gatekeepers, Apple, Microsoft, Google, who Zuckerberg's app is on their platforms. And I mean, to be real, that's hard. Like that's kudos to him for like building as big of a, what is it, a $600 billion company, whatever they are, as big as they are on a platform that's not his.
Relying on another platform.
Exactly. And I don't know if you remember, for iOS 14, Apple released something that prevented Meta from being able to track people for better ad targeting. That sucks for Meta, and somehow
it almost killed them.
Yeah,
they had to change everything.
Exactly. And man, so kudos to Zuckerberg for lasting this long. And now he's like, man, I need to. The reason why I acquired Oculus because he saw the vision of this is the next generation computing. I need to own that. Right. So after laptops and tablets and smartphones, it's gonna be glasses. I need to own that because I've been getting whooped on the platform where, like, I don't know if you heard of Facebook phone and these other things that they didn't really succeed. He wants to succeed in the next thing, and so he wants to create that holy grail device, not a single function device, but a holy grail device that has all the use cases. And so again, even if it takes another 5 or 10 years to get there, they have the funding for it, so they can do that. For me, for what Immersed is and the mission that I'm not on the mission to create the holy grail device, at least right now. Maybe Visor does a great job with work, and then we start branching out to other areas. But because I'm so focused on work right now, I want to make sure that I target that very well. And again, it comes down to alignment of incentives. So it's not that the tech giants can't do this. They just doesn't make sense for them to. Like, they're not incentivized to. They can do this way better than me because they have the funding for it. But when it comes to the motivation and the team and like all the non-commoditized things, like if you're a tech giant that has $100 billion or whatever, we'll say 100 million, we'll say 1 billion to spend on hiring talent. A lot of the talent that they hire is usually commoditized talent. Can you get that talent to want to work 80-hour weeks and dream about this stuff and like think about how their friends and family's money is on the line, or think about how they just love this product and it's their baby? Can you do that with 9-to-5 workers? Probably not at scale. But when it comes to a founding team, here's the thing. Every single person at Immersed has equity in Immersed. Like, they want to see this thing to be successful and they want to build the next Facebook. You just can't do that when you're already a tech giant. So when it comes to, can a tech giant build this? Yes, but they won't. Not today, but maybe in a few years once we prove this out.
I love that you have passion behind what you're doing. That's what you're
awesome.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, by the way, I apologize if I feel like I'm like on a soapbox or something. But
no, you should be. Dude, this is your thing. This is your baby. You should be. If there's any time to get on a soapbox, now is the time to do it. And but yeah, I mean, I love the idea of passion behind a project, because again, you are never going to get that same commitment from somebody who's just punching a clock. It's just never going to happen. So when you do get people that are passionate about what they're doing, they're willing to go the extra mile and do the extra things that it takes. And because of your size and because of the task at hand, it's going to need that. It's going to take that. Let's we've got about 15 minutes left, and you've got to get out of here at the top of the hour. And thank you again for spending the time. But let's talk a little bit about the Visor headset. I want to get, there's already people asking questions in chat and like, asking for specs. So let's do this. Let's have you list off the specs. Let's go over what the headset is. And talk about, the internal parts of it.
Yeah.
Actually, Todd, do you want to play that real quick?
Do you want to do the Immersed one or the Visor one?
Let's do the Visor, since we're just about to talk about it. We got a little Visor trailer. We can pop this up here.
All right, let's do that.
it'll also enrich our society because it'll make it possible for us to live really anywhere we like. Any businessman and executive could live almost anywhere on Earth and still do his business through a device like this.
Badass. Badass. That's an awesome little teaser trailer of that. Let's get to this right away. I want to jump into this because I know everybody's thinking about it, and I thought about it just with that trailer. What's the field of view? Because I just saw through those
Yeah.
lenses. It looks like the screens themselves, they are micro OLED.
Yeah.
But it looks small. So the
Yeah.
biggest problem about many of these types of like Rokid or Nreal is the field of view. The field of view is always not great. So tell us
Yeah.
what's the field of view going to be on this headset?
Yeah, so this is why we actually chose VR over AR for our first device, is because of the field of view. So, some of these AR devices will get you between 20 to 50, maybe 60 on some of these devices. Not even, honestly. And for the product that I want for myself is a product that's north of 100, right? So for us, we're actually going to be above 100 degrees field of view.
Nice, above. Okay.
But yeah, so it's something that allows us to achieve some more periphery than what other devices allow, especially in the AR space. It won't be as amazing on periphery as some of the bigger lens ones that have a bigger eye box.
Right.
Because for us, this is a very low profile device. If you want a big lens in which you can look through, it's going to have to be a little bit further from your face, right? It's not something you can have like super thin and
Super
sleek like this. So
yeah.
you have trade-offs. Yeah.
Yeah. People are asking horizontal field of view, and any ideas where we would be for horizontal?
So sorry, correct. That'll be, I think it's exactly
100 is
102. Yeah,
102
nice.
102.
horizontal. Oh,
That's quite
that's
impressive.
good. That's
I
big. Yeah.
mean, but I mean, I see where you're where you need that trade-off here because you can't have a small field of view because you need how many screens? You have to be able to see. Like
Yeah,
if you
probably at
have a
least 3
small field of
screens.
view, how do you put multiple screens in
Well,
that
then they're
small
like
field of
this
view?
big.
Right, you need to make them bigger. So are we
Yeah.
still going to be able to have five
Yeah,
screens
but no one.
inside this?
I mean, based on our user data, and even honestly, if you just think about yourself, when do you ever use all 5 simultaneously? Like, meaning, usually people have like about like 2, maybe 3 that they're actually actively using, and usually like the 4th and 5th are like running something random. And so, at least my personal rule is for us to have 3 that fit within the field of view, and especially with 4K per eye, it's a whole other thing, man.
I can't imagine what this is going to look like. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so
I am a
excited. You have no idea.
multi-monitor. Yeah, I am a multi-monitor user. So like when
Yeah.
if you see my setup, it's freaking insane. I've got a 55 inch, Samsung Odyssey Arc monitor that I got, 15 happy zones on, and I've got a vertical monitor over here. I've got a vertical monitor over here. I've got a laptop here. I've got a little mini monitor here. So I use all of them. So for me to be able to do that and be able to put a headset on and to work inside of that, I mean, where I can have 5 and I don't have to have all this big setup, or I could do it in my living room or in my bedroom, like at night, and just kind of like, it's pretty amazing that
Yeah.
you'd be able to do that.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people ask me, like, okay, what does 4K per eye really feel like? Like, is it that much of a difference? It's funny. So, we'll say like the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro and maybe the Quest 3 are around 2K ish per eye, right? And you've seen what that looks like. When you try 2.5K, you're like, wow, this is nice. Especially when it's micro OLED too. Like, wow, this is nice. Because I mean, it's like it's a 25% increase from from the best headset that's available today. And as soon as you try 4K, it's no contest at that point. Like,
Really?
you
Yeah.
can't see a pixel. And so I'm
That's
like, man,
amazing.
this is freaking beautiful. So yes, with the particular lenses that we're using, it's not a perfect distribution across the entire panel as far as like the edges aren't. Well, this is what's so crazy. People don't realize. Yes, this is so amazing. The 2.5. Sorry, these numbers
I
blow my
love it.
mind.
Love it.
So the 2.5K per eye, it's like, well, let's go back to the Quest 2 and Quest Pro. It's what, 21, 22 ppd max, at like kind of the exact perfect center point. With 2.5K, you get 32 at the exact center point, right? And then it's like a Gaussian, right? So like 32 goes down to like 30 and then 28, et cetera, towards the edges. And then for 4K per eye, guess what it is? I don't even want to tell you. I want you to guess.
Oh God, Todd.
60?
No, okay, you're guessing way too much. Okay, no,
That's
you're gonna make me, like,
Todd.
so
that's
excited
human
here.
eyeballs. All right, so human eye resolution is 60.
Yeah, that's what
it-
I'm like, well,
yeah,
is it that good?
Sorry, my bad. It gets you to 43, which is double
pretty
awesome. Oh my
what
God,
the Quest
it's
2 and
still
the Quest
amazing.
Pro is. Yeah. So like the Apple Vision Pro. So just being
So,
straightforward.
so what you're saying is the degrading along the edge to the edge, or from the center to the edge of the screen, that the edge will be better than the Quest is now.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right?
if you
If you
have
think of it
complaints
that
about
way.
the edges, it's like,
You're
yeah, but it's better
nuts.
than anything
Yeah.
else that's available. Yeah. So
Right?
going from 43 in the center down to
Yeah.
honestly, I haven't even measured the edges. So I don't even know exactly what the edges are, but it's not going to be sub 30. It's going to be in the
Right.
30s. It's still better than anything else out there.
Right.
And I don't know, something that really excites me is, I mean, we are using the same lenses as Apple is, right? So the main thing that Apple has over this device is going to be it has the MacBook chip on there and its R1 chip as well. It's going to
Right.
have some insane next level computer vision, machine learning algos running on there. I mean, it's going to be an amazing. So to be real, I'm also buying an Apple Vision Pro.
Sure.
Actually, buying two of them because that Disney Plus integration looks really cool. You know,
But that
call me
thing's going to
weird,
be
but
$5,000.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
The visor is going to be what price point?
a seventh of that price. Yeah. So
Yeah.
for us, the 2.5K per eye is going to be $500, and then the 4K per eye is going to be $750. We do have a
We'll get to
founders edition.
750.
Yeah, and that's what we started seeing that like way more people are opting into the more expensive. I didn't expect this. I was expecting way more people to buy the $500 one, but that's like 10% of our orders thus far. Is
Yeah.
only the so like 90% is the 4K per eye and the founders edition. The founders edition is it's supposed to be $1,250, but right now it's on sale for $999. So it's something that will give you additional perks, right? So all that to say, the type of device that we're building is the device that I've always wanted. It's the holy grail device for working. And at the end of the day, because we're able to not optimize for gaming and training and entertainment, etc., and specifically choose trade-offs that make those experiences worse so that the work experience can be better, this is the device that my friends and family ultimately want.
Nice, awesome. Let's talk about a little bit more of some of the specs. What's in it itself? Audio solution. What kind of audio?
Yeah, so we've actually decided to not actually provide audio in the box. I'll say that. So we have more announcements in regards to audio solutions. I won't really talk about the attachments for that yet, but you can buy. We will announce the ability to have kind of essentially an add-on. But the vast majority of our users actually just use their headphones or their AirPods that's paired to their laptop, and they don't even touch their VR headset's volume button. Like it's muted. It's all the way down.
Right.
And so the fact that Immersed software is going to be using a split architecture, very similar to PCVR. Like we're going to be able to make sure that the experience on the headset is like buttery smooth because we're actually running Immersed as a PCVR experience on your laptop. And we're going to do some experimentation around software architected load balancing that allows you to, if say for example, if you're using, it's not going to work on Chromebooks, but if you had something as crappy as a Chromebook that technically qualifies, we're probably going to want to do more compute on the actual visor itself because it actually has the Qualcomm XR2 on it.
Right.
So it can run everything that this Quest Pro beside me also is running.
What's the Quest? What is the XR2 running? What exactly is that function for the headset?
I got to cough real quick. 1 second.
Yeah. No.
So for the visor specifically, it's just doing perception, right? So hand tracking, eye tracking, video pass through, SLAM for tracking 6 degrees of freedom.
Nice.
It's really just if you Google Qualcomm Spaces SDK, we're working with them on a lot of that stuff there. So it essentially will be able to send the sensor data down to the Immersed application that's running on your laptop, and then the Immersed application essentially sends the video feed per eye back to the headset, and then the Qualcomm processor then decodes that video there.
Nice. So you mentioned pass through, that it's going to be color pass through.
Correct. Yeah. So it'll be about 4x higher resolution than anything else on the market today. So my personal requirement for that is I need to be able to use my phone. Right. not just a phone mirrored in VR, but like legitimately, I need to be able to have my phone up here and actually be able to text in this thing, right? So it's something that I think the reason why a lot of other people haven't decided to put 4x the amount of resolution on their pass-through cameras is because they're not optimizing for this use case, and also they got to keep their bill of materials low because they've chosen to choose other items that make that bill of materials high, like high quality audio. Okay, well if you have high quality audio, well then you can't have as good of cameras on there. So there's certain things like specifically I've optimized for the lenses that I have in there because my resolution for reading text and reading stuff on my screens has to be really high, or even watching movies. And then my audio solution will just be whatever I have outside of that. And when it comes to color pass-through, same thing. It has to be very high resolution because every time I pick up my phone, I have to take my headset off, which sucks.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's tough to work when you're gonna need a keyboard, right? You're gonna need a keyboard. You're gonna need a mouse. You're gonna need to operate,
exactly,
in your environment still, inside the headset. So
and the Immersed app has a pass-through function, so you get to draw out your layout on your desktop where you have a pass-through.
Yeah.
Your keyboard, your mouse.
But here's the cool part.
But right now in the Quest Pro, you can't see shit. Like you can't see the the keys, the letters on your keys. If you don't know how to type, that's a problem.
Yeah, but the cool part is because now we are owning the hardware. What if there's a world in which you don't have to draw anything
Oh,
ever?
that'd be so good.
Yeah, so something that I've been working on with Meta way back a couple of years ago was back before they were doing keyboard tracking. We were the partner they're working on with that because we're the ones that made the most sense for them to like have keyboards in VR. And the fact that they were doing a lot of training on specific keyboard models, I was like, please don't do that. Like all you need to do really is just train a general image classifier on all keyboards. And if the headset detects a keyboard in the area, then cut out a pass-through square. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Right, for the higher resolution Quest Pro. Like, because to be real, the so Quest 2 you can't do that. It's too blurry. On Quest Pro, it's actually pretty good. It's like good enough. It's hard to see maybe the symbols on the top row, but everything else you can. What we realize with the users is they mainly just need to know where's their keyboard in 3D space, get their fingers on the home row, and then you solve the problem for 90% of people, right? Because typing
like
is
if you can type, then it's fine. If you're a hunt and pecker typer, then there's no way.
Well, yeah. So I mean, you're probably not, if you're a pecker that or like a hunt and pecker type of person, then you probably don't have like a very savvy computing VR experience. Like you're not really. It's mainly tech savvy people who are using this, right? So
That's true.
Yeah, and again, there's maybe 10% of people who aren't that, but we're not solving for that at least yet. Once hardware gets better, then we will. Think about again. So I'll just show you on the actual visor itself. So
damn, you got one right here.
Yeah. So this is actually something that was confusing for people. I can't see the cameras in the way. So for people, it was difficult for them to see what is what on this thing, right? So for the actual device, we've decided to actually do 2 color pass-through cameras. This is actually a depth sensor, and then we have 2 grayscale cameras, right? So for pass-through, we care about. It's funny you put me full screen. Look.
There it is.
Yeah, everyone look. For the devices, and here's the thing, like, because this sounds really dumb, but non-VR users are very superficial about what they look like when they're in public with one of these things on, right? So imagine if I had like here, so I don't want to constantly like make comparisons to this, but this is my main computing device today is the Quest Pro. I've been using it for the past 2 years. I love it. Well, because we got early access to it. We've been using it for the past couple of years, and I work in this thing 30 plus hours whenever I'm in the office. And the problem with that is, though, I wouldn't go to a coffee shop with this. Right. It's just too big, right? Like I can't wear it portably. Like it's not portable. And then also, people think I look kind of weird with the thing on, right? So, and it's not just me. Like I'm a tech savvy person. I'm willing to take that sacrifice. But what about my friends and family? Are they going to do that? No, right? And this is what my pitch to Meta was. I was like, look, what if we created a device like this? And like at the end of the day, like the reason why this superficial front visor is there is really just so that you don't feel as self-conscious with it, right? So like it's something that if you had a faceplate that ultimately like hid the cameras, but it's not really even doing much to the actual camera, like the actual pixels. Like, yeah, it's a little bit darker now for our computer vision stuff, but you could do pixel manipulation, right? Just brighten the image.
Does it do that with the pass-through? Does it now darken it like a tinted look?
No, because we could run shaders on. So for example, even if like the Founders Edition, right? People asked, oh, isn't that like a red orange
color? Colored faceplate, right?
How does that work? Well, there's this thing called the color wheel, right? So there's color wheel, and on the opposite side of the color wheel, if you kind of zero that out and just run a shader, that like live time, it zeroes it out. It's not perfect, but you can't really tell a difference if you're not like a designer, right? So to the untrained eye, you can't really tell much of a difference. And then when it comes to things like, is it bright enough? All that, like this is what computational photography. If you Google that a little bit, there's a lot you can learn about pixel manipulation for this. And at the end of the day, like if you have ultimately the ability to hide the cameras so that people don't feel like they have bug eyes in person, right? Like if you literally have bug eyes in person, it really is off-putting to a lot of people. Like even the Apple Vision Pro, it was cool that they had the LCD in front, but it was almost like borderline creepy a little bit, right? Where
it was
like,
a little creepy. Yeah.
Like I'm working and someone walks up to me, like I'm working on an airplane. Someone walks up to me and like the flight attendant, and I'm like, hi, it's like my eyes are just like, it's like
it's even creepy,
that,
but I really want it. Really,
yeah. And I'm still buying it. Like I'm still buying it. But at scale though, at the end of the day, like, the thing that's already socially acceptable are sunglasses. So if this looks more like sunglasses, you're not going to stand out as much. People will be like, why is that person wearing sunglasses? But once they realize, oh, this person's working, and that becomes more and more of a thing, I mean, don't be surprised if in not the next 4 or 5 years, but rather the next year or two, this actually becomes very, very common.
Yeah,
I agree. Like when I have the Quest Pro, like I said earlier, I take it to work and I put that headset on, and I'd say 15 times throughout the day, I now have to explain to people what it is on my face and why I have it and why is it so big, and the whole 9 yards. If I had something that looked more inconspicuous, that I could just focus on work and not all the people around me,
Exactly.
super smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will and don't get me wrong, like a lot of the stuff that Meta's pulled off with the Quest Pro, like to be real, had it not been for Meta, had it not been for the other people pouring hundreds of millions, if not billions, into AR VR, I would not be able to work on my
Oh,
device.
for
Like
sure. Yeah.
we like it was never possible for Immersed to work on a device before 2023. Like until 4K was available, I just didn't want to work on a device. I don't want to work on a device with 2K per eye. I did, like let other people. We'll wait until 4K is available because that's the pixel resolution we need. And sort of moving forward, now that more and more people are starting to realize, wow, spatial computing is actually a thing, especially with Apple affirming the space. This
Right.
is something that really gives people an alternative to the Apple Vision Pro if they don't want to fork over $3,500. But instead, if you have 10 or 20% of that money, you can get a visor that will let you use your computer, watch movies,
And it works on Macs, Linux computers, every
and
Windows PC.
Yep.
Like unlike the Apple Vision Pro that only works on a Mac,
Yeah.
this will work on everything.
So that's the ultimate question that a lot of people are going to ask. Can we do anything else besides work in this visor? So like, everybody is already like Meta came out and said the Quest Pro is a working headset. But man, I can play lots of VR on that working headset. I can play great. It's probably my favorite gaming VR headset. The Quest Pro right now. So can we watch movies? Can we play video games? Can I go play, Returnal or Baldur's Gate or Starfield on a huge screen?
Yeah, so I have to kind of be careful about how I say this, and I'll let you read between the lines. But we are an app on other headsets, right? And so I have to balance the idea that I'm working on hardware while Immerse still wants to be the third-party hardware agnostic product that everyone can use regardless of headset. So I don't want other players in the space to feel like, oh, we're driving their users to our product. Like, so I got to be careful in how I say this. But the reality is, we're focused on just getting this thing out to market ASAP, right? So we're focusing on the immersed experience, which is work. You can still watch movies because people watch movies on their laptop, right? So
sure.
And also it's not only wired, it's also wireless, right? So the headset goes down to an actual battery. The battery then plugs into your laptop, and ultimately you can unplug that and switch to Wi-Fi immediately, seamlessly, and walk to the kitchen. I can get up and whiteboard, whatever. And so you can leave a movie on your laptop. You can go to your couch and then watch the movie. But what I will say is, out of the box, it'll just be immersed. But I'm not going to, or Immersed is not going to lock it down to prevent people from modding, side loading, etc. Right?
Nice.
When it comes to things like, will it work with like a side loaded version of Beat Saber? It's like,
we'll make it work.
Yeah, I'll let you guys worry about that. Yeah, and like when it comes to controllers, in the box, it's not going to come with controllers. I'll put it that way. And to be real, I don't have incentive to create our own controllers. So maybe we might partner with someone.
Party.
Yeah,
there you go.
Right?
So I mean, so eventually, we could see possibly Steam running on the headset.
You could possibly.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah. So all that to say, like, we're not incentivized to create an app store, right? We don't care about or not that we don't care, but we're not incentivized to do gaming, training, entertainment, and have a generalized third-party developer app store for that and support developer SDKs and all of that, especially not in year one. We're just trying to get it out to market.
Right.
Again, like we don't have 3 years to build this thing. Like it was awesome that Darshan started for Big Screen Beyond, started it 3 years ago. We unfortunately don't have that time, and I wouldn't have started working on it until 4K was available. And so I'm trying to get this out within a year, right? So for us, like we started this year, I want to ship next year. And because we have a history of shipping product very quickly, I saw multiple people say in the comments, Immerse ships apps very, very fast.
Right.
I personally, I want all of my friends and family to have this device ASAP. I have no desire to hold on to people's deposit money for 3 years. I'm not incentivized to. And also, because Immersed is intending to go public as a company in the next year, we have to
makes sense for you to do it, right?
We're screwed if we don't, right? So and I'll put it this way. We've made sure to put it's so funny because a lot of the VCs, we get to see a lot more of the behind the scenes. It's so encouraging to hear them say, dang, y'all have thought about everything, right? Like meaning if plan like X plan like N or P or Q doesn't work, I have a W, V, and I have all these backups. We're gonna make this work because I need this thing. Like I need this to be.
Love it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like that's why when I look at other people entering the space and I think about, man, you entered the space with so much risk. Like you didn't care to partner with people. You didn't go tinker on your own before taking people's money. Like you just whatever. And then also you don't have a history of shipping product. For us, we made sure before we even announced this thing that all the parts that we need, we're not inventing anything new here. These are all parts that already exist in other headsets today. The lenses, Apple's got them, right? The cameras, other headsets, pretty much all the headsets have them. We're not inventing anything new here. It's really cool. Once we actually release the generalized CAD models of what this looks like, people are gonna be like, oh, that makes so much more sense. Why didn't everyone else do that? It really comes down to the fact that our team are amazing product builders. We're very strong first principles thinking type people, building it from the ground up. And the fact that a lot of other people layer a lot of things to make the headsets thicker, like you don't have to layer much of anything. That's the biggest hint. And so as far as how we can pull off all this tech in such a small form factor, I just gave you the answer if you read between the lines.
Yeah,
of what I just
right.
said.
Yeah.
So like you can
I'm
make it
even more
very, very
excited.
thin. Yeah, you just have to be very merciless on what you will and won't do. So even when we were working with our design team of what should the internals look like, I felt a little bit bad because I was like, I was constantly saying, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do this. And like, but when we finally had the final form factor of what Visor looked like and we showed it to the rest of the team, they're like, holy crap. And the design team's like, yes, this is awesome. Like, hey, I had to break your heart during the process, but now you love the final piece, don't you? And so all that to say, like, this product, we're not inventing anything new. We're not breaking the laws of physics. This is all actually possible if you care about our use case. So I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I know you got to take off. Could you answer a couple rapid fire questions
Yeah,
from
let's
the
do it, yeah.
from the audience?
Yeah.
Todd, you want to grab a couple and I'll grab a couple?
Sure.
Somebody said battery life. How long on that battery you're talking about?
Yeah, so I kind of half leaked this anyway, and there's no legal thing around this. This is like whether or not we want to share this, but I'll just share it anyway. So in the box, it's going to come with 2 hours, right? So it is going to be a wired experience that goes into a battery pack, very similar to the Apple Vision Pro. And the battery pack itself has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in it because it doesn't really make sense for the headset to have wireless on board if it's not something that has a battery attached to it, right? Because you're not going to be wireless, it's going to be wired.
That keeps the headset smaller too, right? Not having
Exactly.
to have that in your face. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm mercilessly taking everything off the face except for what has to be on there. Anything else is going to be an attachment, right? So things like audio, etc. Right. But the battery pack is going to be attached to like a 3 or 4 foot cord. We're still kind of ironing those details out. That will go into your pocket if you're standing up. And if you sit down, which is going to be most of your default experience, that battery pack is going to be sitting on your desk. And the other end of that is actually going to be going to a wire that goes to your laptop. So that gives you a USB-C mode of what already works on Immersed today. And that gives you super low, like sub 10 millisecond latency. You're not gonna be able to notice any latency at all. And you can have 5 4K screens simultaneously, right? So that's kind of the Intel partnership that really matters here is Thunderbolt 3, right? So yes, there's 4 and 5 available, but the Qualcomm chipset moving forward, like we're gonna be working out what the next gen looks like so we can get to the higher speeds. But this Thunderbolt 3 is plenty sufficient for that. I don't want to have like a whole link box and everything. I want it to be just one wire. So we're doing Thunderbolt 3 with that.
So that's the technology, Thunderbolt 3 USB-C high speed.
Correct, yeah. So the battery 2 hours is default. We are going to allow a larger battery add-on afterward.
IPD adjustment, or any adjustment for people for prescription lenses. Okay.
Yeah. So I will say this is what I think Big Screen Beyond got right. Like this is not that they got other things wrong. My point is like that they got right that other people didn't really care to prioritize. I really love the fact that I agree with the fact that I almost always say coincidentally for us, because we're seeing the immersive visor an extension as your laptop. Most people's laptops are just for them. They don't really share their laptop that often, at least not anymore. And usually if it's your work laptop, it's just for you. You're not sharing with coworkers. You're not sharing it with your kids. It's just your work laptop. So if this is an extension of your work laptop, the visor, then it doesn't really make sense to have a shareable IPD. So we're going to be taking a face scan. The IPD is going to be static or exactly what it's custom fit for you. But when it comes to prescription inserts, same thing as the Big Screen Beyond is also going to have the magnetic inserts as well, right? So
nice.
Those are coincidentally the two things that make sense for us, right? So they're bits and again, we're not inventing anything new here. We're taking bits and pieces of what other people have proven out, and we're creating it specifically for our use case. So people can say, "Oh, you copied this, you copied that." I'm like, well, they copied everything from everything before too, right? Meaning you didn't invent C or C#. Like you're copying the algos that other people have used. So likewise, we're building on the shoulders of giants like Meta and others before us who did all the R&D to get 4K displays or whatever to become commoditized, or not Meta, but others who did that. So when it comes to IPD and magnetic inserts, sure, maybe it's a hot take like, oh yeah, but I want to share my device. I think there are other devices out there for that. But for work, you're probably just doing work for yourself.
Yeah, agreed. This is going to be your personal device that you'll bring to places to do that. There's other stuff that you can see that around and LiDAR face scan to do that, kind of like big screen LiDAR.
Yeah, similar. We are going to be looking into some Android solutions as well because we don't need as high fidelity as they do because they're doing like a custom foam fit. We're not doing a
Right.
custom foam fit. It doesn't make
Will
sense
there
for
be
us.
there won't really be a facial type interface, right? Or is it
Well, there will be. I guess you're right. We didn't release that yet, but there will be. Actually, we did release the I think one image to the different press outlets, but I guess no one posted it. That's on them. So there will be.
we'll post it right
I
here.
have that.
Yeah. So there will be a light blocker, and that'll be based on your face scan as well. So it'll be generally a good fit. There are different sizes for different people. So the one size fits all thing just doesn't really make sense. And so we'll have a few different sizes. We'll send the one with your device that fits you the best. But it's not going to be a zero light leakage face based on your face contour. Like it's not meant for watching movies in VR. It's meant for you to honestly like wear in the workplace, wear at the coffee shop, wear at home. And at home is probably where you're mainly going to use a light blocker. You're probably not going to use it in the office or at a coffee shop.
I find myself very rarely using my light blocker on my Quest Pro. I
Same
thought it
thing.
was going to be a big thing for me, and very quickly, I don't give a shit. Like,
I
it
don't use
doesn't
it at
bother
all.
me anymore. Like
I
once
don't-
you
yeah,
get
I
used
don't
to it,
use
it
it at
doesn't
all.
bother you.
Exactly.
Renji, I know you got to go, dude. I don't want to keep you much longer because we're over our time already by 11 minutes.
Yeah, no
And
worries.
dude, thank you for coming tonight, man. Thank you for
Yeah.
doing this. We are extremely excited for this headset. I think the audience is. They're asking so many freaking questions. It's crazy. Just we'll keep up to date with everybody. Let everybody know as much as we can in chat afterwards. And there's links to if you guys want to go and check out the Visor and do a pre-order. Todd has been putting links in there, and we'll get that going. And yeah, man, thank you for being here. This was really a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to know a little bit about you as Renji, as the founder of the company.
We'll definitely need to catch up once we get closer to the launch. And
Oh yeah,
release
for
and
sure.
that'd
Dude,
be awesome. Yeah.
you have no idea. Like this honestly has put a massive wind in our sails. Like meaning, to be real, like when we launched onto the Oculus store in August 2020, so about a little over 3 years ago, that was awesome. It was exciting. We got like 20,000 users on day one. Like it was just explosive. And then like hundreds of thousands of users started onboarding. And that was really cool. But then eventually got to the point where, okay, it was kind of tapering off. And it's like, okay, well, then we start hearing, oh, like these headsets are not selling that as many, or like these headsets are becoming old, and like these headsets are being discontinued. And it's like, we were just like an app, kind of like Zuckerberg with Facebook on the other devices out there.
Right.
Like kind of like me now on the Quest ecosystem or on the Vive port or whatever, the Pico. We're just one of many. We're one of many apps on many headsets, and it's like there's no standards, there's no clear up into the right trajectory for growth of the total addressable market. So I'm like, I don't know what an exit looks like. Like, yes, multiple tech giants have been wanting to purchase Immersed, but at numbers that just don't make sense for us. Like my team, we want to have the multi-billion-dollar exit. And I'll put it this way: like we believe that we can become the next tech giant, and so that's why we're going public. We're like, okay, so these offers are cool. It's life-changing money for me. It's honestly life-changing money for my entire team. All of them would become millionaires. But all of us, for us, like this mission is so great, and the positioning we have is so unique. And we're like, if all the tech giants are pouring dozens of billions of dollars into this next generation of computing, and we're the most practical application of it that has the most amount of usage for the masses, then we could probably, maybe there's a world in which we can become a tech giant. It's still sub 1%, I'm sure. But if we go public, maybe there's an army of people who could be behind us to help us build this mission moving forward so that we can have devices out there in the hands of consumers sooner that they can be wearing everywhere, right? Not just for gaming at home. So all that to say, like, it's been really, working on Visor has been a huge lift for my team because for years, we've been wanting to talk to all the different headset manufacturers, Pico, Meta, everyone, of, hey, can we get access to the sensor suite so we can do more cooler computer vision things? Like if I'm at a whiteboard in real life, can I like track the marker on the board and then represent that in VR for my remote team? And like, oh yeah, but privacy things, blah, blah. And I get it. I understand it. It makes no sense. It's too risky for them. I get it. So when it comes to Visor, though, it's like, hey, we can have them opt in to that feature. And if they say yes, okay, well, cool. The user gave us permission. Things like that, right? That like tech giants are not incentivized to risk. Right. So moving forward, man, working on our own hardware has been so exciting. The affirmation from other hardware partners who think we're brilliant, which is great because we're like, cool, because we're actually noobs. And like, we just never have done this before, but we're taking a lot of our learnings from other areas of life. You kind of see Elon do this with from Zip2 to PayPal to then Tesla and SpaceX and Boring and Neuralink. And he learns a lot of abstract lessons that actually work in a lot of different industries. And our team is starting to experience that. And we hope that someday, similar to like how the PayPal mafia with like Elon Musk and Reid Hoffman, who did LinkedIn, and the YouTube founders, the Yammer founders, who all came out of PayPal to go build these other multi-billion-dollar companies. The hope is that Immersed would go ahead and be that immersed mafia, so to speak, so
Right.
that we can build all these cool products, not even just Visor, but other products in the future too. And honestly, like build a cooler world that gets more and more people excited about technology again. That I feel like kind of, things like TikTok and whoever else, like, sorry, ByteDance, don't punch me in the face. But like, I feel like that's kind of made people feel like technology is like that. That's it. Like I
That's
saw,
it. Yeah.
did you see that meme that showed, AI is going to take over the world, and they show AI like Arnold Schwarzenegger dancing like in a woman's suit on stage. It was like a fake like music meme thing. It was just like AI is just like fake videos or like what do you call it, deep fakes and stuff.
Deep
And it's
fake.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, but it's like this is not the AI that we were talking about. So like for
Right.
us, like like Visor has been very refreshing. Honestly, like thank you to everyone in the chat here and everyone who's been encouraging us on social media. Like this has been a new like re-energizing wind in our sails for the past couple of days and honestly weeks. And like, man, I'm excited for this next year. Like next time you guys want to talk, I will talk for like 3 hours. Like,
Hell
this
yeah,
is-
man.
I'm
All right,
all
let's
over it.
schedule it up,
Yeah,
man, because
for
I'm
sure.
ready. I could dive deep into
Yeah.
this thing. There's so much we didn't get a chance to cover, and
There
I do
is,
want to do
yeah.
this again. So,
Let's
but
do
I
it.
just want to say, I know you're super busy, so it was super nice of you to come in here and do this, and
Yeah, that was fun.
we can't wait to hear more. I'm sold. I'm getting this thing now. I'm getting it. I'm
Yeah.
getting the Founders
Yeah.
Edition. I'm gonna
Yeah,
order
no, I
it.
appreciate that, man. Well, I think that like for us, like we want to also do a good job of like, I don't know what the phrase is, like breadcrumbing, meaning as we get new updates, we want to release updates. Like we're not going to just keep everything secret forever and make you wait until you get your device at home and then find everything out then. We want you to be here along with us for the process. And so, yeah, we'd love to do more shows like this. Like for me, a lot of my work hours are very focused on like building the stuff. But when it comes to outside of that, or even like I'm trying to reserve even just Friday afternoons to do things like this, because Friday afternoons my team is just like, I'm tired from the week a little bit. Like I don't need Renji to talk in my ear to like tell me what to do. I'm just gonna, so I get to not have to work with the
Stick
team
'em
that
in a
much.
in a
Yeah,
room.
and I could be on things like this. So
Awesome.
I'm gonna make myself make it a point to be a lot more available. So don't feel like you're bothering us. Like, look, this is life giving. Like whenever we have momentum, this is a very life-giving for us, a life-giving thing for us. It's not energy draining because it's not a job that we see as a burden, but rather something that's our passion. Like
Right.
if I'm not here talking about this, I'm probably at home, my wife and I talking about it anyway.
Talking
Like
about the
she
same
loves
thing.
this stuff too. So
Right.
I will
love it, man.
definitely be in John's ear. So,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it, man. I love it when you're passionate about it to where you can't turn it off and you don't want to turn it off. You think
It's too
about it when
fun.
you go to bed and you think
Way
about
too
it when
much
you wake
fun.
up in the morning.
It's too fun, man.
Man,
It's too fun.
we are all pulling for you, man. Good luck with everything,
appreciate
and
it, man.
can't wait to get in it.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks
All
for
right,
having
have a
me.
great night, man.
You
Take it
too.
easy.
You too. Bye.
Holy crap, dude.
What a whirlwind. Like, holy crap. See?
Yeah,
Did you see why I was so excited? Oh my God.
I am two things. I rarely get speechless like this, but dude, that number one,
He's like the most
Renji,
passionate guy in the field that I think I've talked to in years.
yeah, when you talk to somebody who number one, you can tell he's brilliant. He's extremely smart and he knows what he's doing. But his passion shows even through his intelligence. Like there are smart people out there that don't show a passion when they speak or they just don't speak well enough. Where Renji, he's extremely passionate, he's extremely smart, so you get the whole package from him. So literally, I'm just kind of sitting here going, man,
Try to absorb it all.
yeah, because I believe that where I like to me, I'm like buying into his vision. I'm buying into his vision of what he thinks he can do. And if you are a person that says, I have amazing software, but I can't take my software to the next level. I need hardware. And if I can't find somebody to partner with me to make the hardware, fuck it. I'm going to go make my own hardware and I'm going
Right.
to make it amazing.
Like he was saying, he's hitting all these roadblocks with Meta and with Pico, and you can't have these sensor access. You can't do this with the software development kit. You can't. And instead of just giving up, like a lot of the other spatial computing programs have done over the last couple of years, you're right. He's like, fuck it, I'm making my own. I'm just so excited.
One of the most things that excited me, instead of locking this system off, which he very
Yeah.
well could have, he said we're gonna keep it open. And
Yep.
if you want to side load and if you want to bring anything in, so it's open for everything now, pretty much. It's open to whatever people decide they want to try and do with this thing. So, whether you think, whether you're like, oh, I want it for work, just like Todd just wants it for work. But if you
Well,
want
now
to
that
do
I know I can do so much more with it, It's opening a whole another gambit of things, right?
It's smart. It's smart because, you don't wanna you wanna open yourself up to a bigger market, and how do you do that without you actually having to do the work of, because again, they are still limited, they're a small team. So if you're doing it if you're jumping out of your normal software mode and you're actually building a headset, you only can do so much, right? You can't do everything. But if he by unlocking the system, he's allowing everybody else to do it for them to say, look how much you can do all these other things. It's not just, a workflow headset where you go in and you can have 5 monitors and you can do everything inside of it. Now you can do this and you can do this and you can sideload this app and you can do this. And it changes. Now, is this going to be a VR gaming headset
Well,
like
yeah,
that
now
we
that I'm on
know?
holidays with my laptop, I can load up Steam VR and play some video games,
Possibly.
right? Like, fuck,
Possibly.
that's genius.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like, again, I don't think it's gonna be like, "Hey, this is gonna be the VR gaming headset that you're gonna
No,
wanna
but
choose
if
all the
it's an
time."
option,
But I think it's definitely an option, and I think it's something that, you could definitely because of the form factor, this is something you could definitely get in and play Steam flat games.
oh, for
Why
sure, you
could
can already do that.
yeah, why could if you
It'll be
basically if it's your laptop inside this thing and it's super light, why couldn't you grab an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller and play whatever flat game you want on a huge immersive screen inside in this visor,
yeah, at a ski chalet in the mountains. Like,
right?
yeah,
Anywhere you want,
yeah.
anywhere you want. I'm impressed with some of the tech that's in it. Let's talk about the workflow stuff, Todd, because we didn't get into like 100% into like because it was just I wanted to make sure we hit the tech. I want to talk about Immersed, but I want to make sure we hit the tech of the headset. But workflow in this headset. So let me ask you this: you work in Immersed all the time in like your Quest Pro.
Yes.
What's going to change for you with this visor headset?
Portability, ease of use. The Quest Pro, it's huge, right? So, I sit at this desk and I'm the same as you. I have a 55-inch arc screen sitting in front of me, 27-inch monitor over here, an LED USB-C screen on my right, my cell phone. Like, I don't need to do it. But I turn off my arc and I go into Immersed. So my screens aren't on. It's just me sitting at my desk staring at a black TV and I'm inside my headset. I use 4 screens when I'm in there. I use 3 for functionality, and one of them sits way off in the corner and runs Spotify, and I just listen to music from that one.
Nice. How big are you going to be able to make these screens inside your headset? So say if you wanted one screen, but you wanted it huge.
I could make it bigger than my entire room.
That's
It's
pretty
oh,
cool.
it's huge.
You can make it like a movie screen.
Oh yeah, easily. Yep.
See,
And
that's
not only
where
can you
that's where
make the
this is
screen,
different to
but
me
you
than
can
an AR
control
headset.
the curve of each one of them as well. So
Mhm.
you can put them beside you, like the ones on my left, they're flat. The ones in front of me are all curved.
That's why the field of view is so important here. So like when I started
Yeah.
talking about the field of view, that's why it's so important here because it's not the Rokid, AR glasses. It's not the Nreal glasses where you get maybe 100 and what they consider a 120-inch screen, right? You know what I mean? It's really
Oh,
not.
it's nothing like that at all.
This is going to be the field of view on this and that it's a legitimate VR headset
Right.
makes it different because of the size that you will be able to do. Think about working like in big screen, right? Or where you can have like a movie theater size screen.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of the rooms in Immersed are like theaters, so you can be in a theater just like you can in big screen.
This was super interesting.
I really want to see the mixed reality versions with those lenses and 4K optics to be able to sit in a restaurant or a coffee shop with that thing on my face and perfectly be able to see the people around me. Like, obviously, I would never do that with the Quest. I do it at client sites. Like, I'll sit in their boardroom just so I have somewhere to sit. And they all know who I am, and they all know I'm a geek, and they all just expect me to come in with a headset on.
Mhm.
But to go into Starbucks or something and just put on a pair of sunglasses and have 5 displays and drink my coffee, and nobody knows what I'm doing. I can't wait. You have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm so
it's
excited.
and one of the things that we talked about too is they're claiming it's 25% lighter than a cell phone.
Yeah,
So
so I did the
think about
math.
think about your cell phone. It's
Yeah.
25% lighter than this, and this
We're
is on your head.
I had ChatGPT do the math on cell phones in 2023. What would equal 25% lighter than the average cell phone in 2023? And the answer was 130 grams.
130 grams. So,
So
so
it's
give me
6 or 8 grams less than the big screen.
wow.
Smaller, lighter than the big screen.
Wow, and the big screen's tiny.
And it's
Thing
already
doesn't
tiny.
even that doesn't even feel like you have anything on when you're wearing it.
And this thing comes like I have some images here I can show you now that the
Mhm.
press release has gone
I'll
live.
say, Rogue TR says, there were definitely a lot of words and open-ended promises, but kind of feels like a Kickstarter hype, really. Will be interesting to hear reviews. So this is not a Kickstarter, which is great. Because I hear you, Rogue TR. I mean, I'm with you. We have all been down that Kickstarter road. I remember there's 20 headsets I can think of that have gone down a Kickstarter road or started, and they've completely crapped out, taken money from people and left. I'm still waiting for my Lynx XR1 headset. 3 years later now that I kickstarted.
Right?
3 years I'm waiting on this Lynx XR1. I still don't have it. So, this feels different to me. It really does. Number one, I'd like that it's not a Kickstarter. You can just pre-order. That means they have to fulfill. Kickstarter means you give them your money, and there's no guarantee you get anything, and you don't get refunded.
That's
This
correct.
is not a Kickstarter. If you order and you don't get it, they have to refund your money. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
Okay, so here's an image of the headset with what's called stem mode. So these are like your regular sunglass stems. But it also ships in
Yeah,
strap mode.
with the head strap.
Yeah, so this is where I think the Steam VR player who gets this thing to work in Steam is going to see some benefit. Because this thing's not falling off your head.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I like that. I mean, that'll be cool for like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you need it just to move around a little bit more, I guess.
Well, they're saying that it's for extended use. You might want to use the over the stem. Sitting at your desk,
Yeah.
this is probably fine, but I don't know how. I'd have to try it on, right, to know to get a.
You think the model that he had there was a working model, like he can plug it in and use it?
I,
Yeah, it's sitting on his desk.
I think so.
Yeah, so there's the colored faceplate of the that's going to be the Founders Edition, I think is what he
Yes,
called
that's
it.
right. Yeah.
So if you want to get in early on the on pre-order and you want to get the Founders Edition, I think which he says is on sale right now for $9.99. You
$9.99.
kind
Yeah,
of you
50
get there's
off
a
till
couple.
the end
Number
of
one,
September.
I think you get it 6 months earlier than everybody else.
Yep.
You get it for you get this little cool kick-ass like a little plate on it, and then you get there's other things. I think it makes it,
You get a lifetime subscription to the premium version, which gives you higher resolution and better,
mm,
more monitors, and a couple other things, I think.
yeah. Yeah, interesting. I mean, I don't know. This is I love seeing new hardware come out. I love seeing people try and make a difference in in the landscape and like I said, do something different. Make they needed to make something happen, and they are. I mean, and they came out and announced it, and I'm excited to see it. And
Okay, so
we'll
Tasselhoff's got a question, which is a good question. What does premium tier mean?
good question.
So the Immersed app is free on every headset, but there's a subscription base if you so choose to join the subscription base. So it is $0, gets you 5 monitors at lower resolutions, still really good resolutions. That's the one I've been using this week is the non-premium version. I think that's the only drawback. Oh, and it gives you the non-premium version. You cannot share your screens inside of the app. So if you were like in a meeting or something and you needed to share your monitors, you would need the premium version for that. So there's 2 ways to get the premium version. You can purchase it for $5 a month, or you can use your headset and earn it.
That was a cool, interesting to me when you
Yeah,
told me about this. So you can actually be in, if you spend enough time
and
in
it's not
the app,
much.
you can earn the higher version. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat for
I don't know. Oh, I think Todd froze. Todd absolutely froze. His wife heard that he was going to buy this new headset. Can you guys see me and hear me?
Looks like it was just me.
I was talking to them, but nobody was talking back to me, so I don't even know. Maybe I froze too. We're back.
We're back. Yeah.
I was joking when you froze that your wife was upstairs. She heard that you were buying a new headset, and she pulled the plug. And you're like, "Yeah, that's not happening, Todd. You're not getting another headset." Allison, that's not going to happen.
I haven't stopped talking about this thing.
Are you getting okay? Hold on. Let's ask a couple questions now. All right. So
I want to go back and address the versions, though. I don't know how much.
Do that quickly because then I need to ask questions to see if you're getting divorced or not.
I want to. I was going to share my screen. This is when it all crapped out on me. Did it do it again? Oh no, you're still there.
I'm still here.
Let me just make sure there's nothing personal on here.
So no naked pictures or like what do you got? Porn? You got porn going on the other screen?
You just grab a screenshot instead.
He does have porn, folks. Too funny. You're crashing our whole entire stream so because you're porn.
Right. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the inside the app, like on their website. You log into their website.
Oh, I see. So like you have like a scale of how long you're working.
If you work 3 full days in Immersed, you get the pro version. So I got one more day. If I work in it tomorrow, next week I'll get the pro version.
That's pretty cool, man. I like that they give you that option.
That's super smart.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
And if you look at the pricing, it's billed monthly. You don't even have to subscribe for like a year or something crazy. Just $5 a month.
All right, so let's ask the question that I was going to ask before. So you're getting a Quest 3.
Yeah.
You're getting a Quest 3.
My wife better not be watching this.
You're getting an Apple Vision Pro, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
You're getting a Quest 3. You're getting an Apple Vision Pro. You are getting this headset, the Vision.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Are you still getting this stupid big screen headset?
I don't know yet. So far, yes. But now I don't think I'll use it. Well, I don't know. Like, I would use this for work, and I could use that for play. And
did you hold on? Let me ask you a question. Did you see the Pico 5 that was leaked today?
No,
dude. The Pico 5 and the specs for the Pico 5.
Is it really that good?
It's gonna be way better than the Quest 3. It's gonna be somewhere in the middle between the Quest 3 and the Apple Vision Pro. They're looking middle. They're looking like that middle area. Wow. So you might, and they're gonna have 3 different versions. It's going to be the Pico 5, the Pico 5 Pro, and the Pico 5 Pro
Max or something.
Pro Max, yeah. So, I mean, holy crap! So you're looking at if you're going to get the Pico 5?
I doubt that's a long way away. Pico 5 won't ship.
I mean, the only thing that keeps me from getting divorced is thank God a lot of these companies just send me these headsets.
I know. I gotta buy them all.
Otherwise, I would be screwed. My wife would be like, "You're out of here too, dude." And me and Todd would be like the odd couple living somewhere in Toledo, Ohio. Living in an apartment together with 20 headsets that we can't use. I can't believe you haven't canceled this big screen yet.
I tried.
What are you gonna do with it, man? What do you mean you tried? What do you mean they talked you out of it?
I don't know who I give credit to. If someone from Big Screen's watching.
Oh my God! I wish you recorded this conversation. You should have recorded this conversation. I want to hear it. I would love to hear how they were like, look, Todd.
She guilted me into not canceling.
Just look, Todd, don't cancel. I can't. I got
a family to feed. Yeah, no, she didn't say that.
Oh my God, Darshan and Big Screen are in so much trouble, dude. They're in so much. Nobody's buying this headset. I've been saying this from day one, and it's still not shipping yet. Nobody's buying this headset, man.
I won't. Oh yeah, I do. I have Eric's tag because I came back in. Let me fix that. I'm still not going to get mine till January, February is what they're telling me.
January and February.
Which is
Dude,
stupid because I'm the one on the
we could
podcast
have
talking
we could
about
have a
it.
new Valve headset announcement by then.
Yeah.
What if
why
Valve
I
comes
have
out
to
and
wait that
what if Valve
long
comes
is
out right after
fucking dumb.
MetaConnect? What if Valve comes out right after MetaConnect or during MetaConnect and says, "Hey, you get your new Valve headset today," and boom, they do that. They've done that in the past. They can
If they
do it
drop a
again.
Deckard, I'm fucking canceling the big screen. There's no doubt about
You
it.
think you should cancel it now? Some lady talked you into it.
She totally talked
Some
me into
lady car salesman talked you into it.
I know
You
she was
you gotta
good at her
keep-
job. Whoever she is, if you're watching, get a raise. Yeah.
Did they give you any incentive to keep it?
No, nothing.
What? They didn't even offer you any like discount?
Shut
or
up.
anything
I'll
to keep
cancel it after the show.
Lincoln Clay, what is going on, dude? How you doing, man? Lincoln Clay says, I just secured a second Quest Pro off eBay.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude. Way to go. I mean, you could probably get them pretty good, cheap right now. I mean, if you ever wanted a Quest Pro and you could catch one, like, you know, on
Next
a
couple months, now's going to be the time to buy one. Yeah.
yeah, seriously. Again, it's still the best headset I've got right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got them all and they're still the best one I've had. So I use it pretty much all the time. Is the Pico 5 confirmed to be for sale in the US? Pico 3 never made it correct. So
Pico
the
4
Pico
never made it
4
either.
never made it, but
Pico 3 did.
recently, within the last couple of months, the Pico Neo 3 Link, which is the headset that came out right before the Pico 4, got approval to be sold in the North America. So, which is odd for me, which I don't understand exactly, like why they would push for the older headset, the Pico Neo 3 Link, to be approved. The only thing I can think of is two things. A lot of these application processes are put in like years or months and years before you're able to get them through. So it's possible that this one was just approved, and then you'll see maybe the Pico 4 get approved soon. And then the Pico 5 possibly. But this is a good sign for Pico that they at least got one headset through. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but you will be available at some point here to buy the Pico Pico Neo 3 Link. What a fricked up name that is. Oh my God. Do you think when they're like, okay, let's call it the Pico Neo 3 Link? Yeah. So I think at some point you're going to be able to buy the Pico Neo 3 Link in North America. But damn, why would you? Like, who's buying that? Unless they're going to do it just for like enterprise or like for location based. Who's buying an old Pico Neo 3 Link when number one, the 4 is great and you can still get it in the United States if you need to, or in North America if you need to. And then the Pico 5 is coming.
Yeah. I didn't.
How about anybody
That's
who
not good news for my.
Does anybody feel right now if they bought the Pico 4 and now the Pico 5 is going to be coming? It's going to be
Pico 4 is good. Like I use that with Immersed as well. There's been days where I've done the morning on my Quest Pro and the afternoon on the Pico 4 because my Quest died.
Rogue TR says, sorry, just curious, due to the affiliate link for that we posted, was this stream sponsored by Immersed in any way? 100% not sponsored in any way. We did not know we were going to have them on the show until yesterday. Yesterday, Todd reached out and said, hey, you know, we would love to have, because you got to remember two things. Todd's been working with Immersed because of the app for over a year. He's been in there, working in there. He's known the company because he works so much in the app. So he has good relationships with some of the people in there. And he just reached out to his people and said, we'd love to have, Renji on to talk about the Visor because we're so excited about it. But in no way are we affiliated in any way besides that link with Immersed in any way. And this was not sponsored in any way.
Correct, Amondo.
There you go. But it's an excellent question. Affiliate links are just, they're a link that they give us to, to supply so we can offer to people if they want to use it to pick it up.
You do buy it at full disclosure. There's a $10 kickback that goes back to the Q2C channel to help us pay for everything else we do. So, yeah.
We got to pay the light bill. Otherwise,
the lights go
off. Otherwise, the stream freezes up.
Yeah, right.
Todd shuts everything down. But yeah. Yeah, no worries. No worries.
$10 super chat from Bluebell, and this is why we need the kickbacks, because Todd needs a new pillow for his car or couch.
Oh, yeah, for whatever couch, wherever he is sleeping on a couch. Thank you, Bluebell, for the $9.99, and thanks for making it in. I know earlier you said you were going to have to catch this one later, so thanks for making it in. I think Bluebell came in right when Renji left, so watch back later, Bluebell. It was probably because I'm going to go back and watch this one again. It was probably one of the best interviews I've ever sat and listened to just because of how what he had to say and what he's and the process going through Immersed. And I don't know about. I think a lot of people here thought so too. I thought it was a pretty captivating interview with Renji.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to keep in touch with their PR guy, John, I've been talking with, and we'll definitely have Renji back on the show once it gets closer to shipping dates and any more newsworthy information.
Daniel Cass says, a satisfied Pico 4 customer, I'm happy to have the opportunity to upgrade so quickly and keep the speed of the tech. I'm in the same boat as you. There are some people that get upset with the tech jumping. Like there are people that are always upset that I just got this headset a year ago or a year and a half ago. Why are they making my headset outdated? Why are they coming out with new hardware? I'm in the opposite camp. I would hate to hold technology back because I don't want to give up my
just
older
for the sake
hardware.
of holding it back.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't love having to spend money on new headsets, but I want to make sure that the tech is moving forward as fast as possible. Trust me, guys, they already hold stuff back because they know there's backlash. Like guaranteed, they could probably drop headset almost on top of headset on top of headset, probably within 6 months to a year. They don't a lot of times because they know there's going to be backlash. They have to wait a certain amount of time. The tech is already like moving so fast, especially in this field,
Yeah.
that they literally could just drop them. I guarantee. I mean, they could be like, oh man, that's a good enough upgrade. We could just drop an update, and make an updated new headset, make it a Quest 3.5, and they could do it, and they could drop a new headset. But they're not going to because they know people would get pissed off. Look at phones. Phones update sometimes twice a year.
Yeah.
You get
right?
new phones. It's not even a year anymore. Sometimes it's twice a year.
And the iPhone 15 launch garbage that just happened was a prime example of why you shouldn't just release a phone every 6 months for the hell of it.
Wow, Tasselhoff says I since I can refund or cancel, I'm going for the Founders Edition.
Good job, man.
I may go for the Founders Edition, Todd. I'm telling you right now. I don't want to tell my wife, but I don't know. Do you think I would work in the head? Let me ask you this. You know me. I am not. I love
You love gaming. You're not a
but-
tech savvy
Well,
guy.
that's not true. I love tech. I mean, I love the tech. I love the
Yeah.
hardware. I mean, I prefer. I mean, gaming is what I live for. I
Right.
love the gaming. I love the building of the games. I love behind the scenes of the games. I love what it takes to to make a game and a good gameplay loop. To me, it's not just about making the games now. To me, it's about playing the games. It's about how you make the games and what makes a good game. But do you think I would use this headset? I mean, do you think I could function could I work in this headset and make it and would it make my work life easier?
Yes, and yes.
Really? Okay. So could I edit video in this headset?
Yes, I've done that.
And it makes it easier than
And
normally
I've
doing
used
it.
Photoshop and Canva and you and I are in a little bit of a weird group of tech enthusiasts because we have like my screen is enormous in front of me, right? And so is
Okay.
yours. So not a lot of people have these giant ass monitors. So if you didn't have this, it's to me, no brainer question because you
So-
can have that without having to spend thousands. Like this screen was $4,000. Like,
There's a lot of people that just operate with laptops, no desktop at
great.
all.
yeah, right.
With
Look at it.
a
Elliot
15
runs
inch
on a
laptop
laptop.
monitor.
Yep.
Can you imagine if you're that person and you have you do your workflow on a 15-inch laptop monitor? Can you imagine now putting this little tiny ass visor on? I'm not even going to call it a headset. I don't
No.
want to call it a headset because it's too small for a headset.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it a visor, which is what it is. Can you imagine putting this visor on and all of a sudden now you don't have a 15-inch laptop. You have 5
100-inch
50-inch
laptop
monitors.
screens. 100-inch. They could be huge.
Yeah. This is kind of a game changer, I think. I'm going to get it anyway, just because I'm just going to get it.
Well, next week I'll see you, and I'll have my Pro and Immersed because I'll have it. It's on my laptop, so and I can definitely give you a more hands-on tour, if you will, of what Immersed is like, and then imagine it on a pair of glasses. Like I just can't imagine.
Number one, Mickey Bear doing what Mickey Bear does, dropping traffic
Right.
jams key in chat. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Mickey is awesome. And Traveling Man 3775 with a $5 super chat says for some hay to lay down in the doghouse mash. And I am going to need it. I have not even told my wife about. I told her we were having Renji on today, and she's like, "Who? You're gonna have food for what?"
My wife
And
said
I'm
who,
like,
and then I spent an hour and a half telling her all about
and
him.
I did, and then she's like, and as soon as I started, this is exactly how the conversation went. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna talk to
How
the
would you
CEO and founder of Immersed. They make an app, where you work and they, they're going into hardware and they're making a VR visor. And before I even got VR visor out of my mouth, she's like, you're not buying another headset. Literally, that's how it happened. I'm buying another headset.
He's buying another headset.
Buying another headset. I got to get my headset set up behind me, Todd. It's 2 weeks in a row here. I've got this plain wall, and it's just
I know. I figured you would at
weird.
least put a green screen up and had something fancy.
So this wall behind me, I have like a textured wall board that's going to go on it behind me. That's going to be like a brick wall. So I'm waiting to get that in here, and then I got to get. My pod just arrived yesterday, so I finally have like all my racks here and my glass shelves, and hopefully by the time that we come back for the next edition of Q2C VR Gamer Live, I'll have everything set up. I miss my headsets, Todd. I mean, I have them. They're like all on the floor over here, and they're over there, and it's weird, man. It's weird.
I didn't go with my purple lights today too. I figured, what the hell? Try something different.
Yeah, it was a great interview. Let's move on a little bit. I want do you want to give away some of these keys for these Alvo keys? Can we do that,
Oh,
or
I don't know. Give me a
are you
minute.
set
I'm
up to
not
do that?
ready. Nope.
All right, you get that ready. Let's talk about a couple other things. I want to talk about MetaConnect next week. So let's discuss. I want to talk to you guys in chat too, because I want to know, like, what do you guys think of MetaConnect? Like, what's your expectations for MetaConnect next week? We've done a few of these now. It used to be Oculus Connect. The last one we had was OC6. And then, Meta kind of like just turned it into their own different thing. And then with COVID, it went, all remote, nothing in person. And now we have MetaConnect back in person now, kind of. So it's not really in person because it's not open to the public. It's really invite only. They're not inviting like any major influencers because they're inviting mainly developers. Any of the influencers that you see there are most of them, I think all of them, are Meta ambassadors, or what used to be Meta ambassadors. Now I think they're called they're just members of the Quest program. So you're not even seeing some of the major influencers invited. It's more of a tech conference now, or a tech get together for developers who develop for the Meta platform. And they're going to have some announcements. Zuckerberg's going to come out. He's going to do his State of the Union. He's going to go through his thing. We are definitely going to hear Quest 3, of course. I'm assuming we're going to get our launch date, which I think we all assume or think or know at this point. It's going to be October 10th. Do pre-orders go live, do you think, Todd, on the day of Connect, or do they wait a week, or I think we're going to see pre-orders go live at some point. If the launch date is going to be October 10th, I would assume sometime soon we're going to need to see pre-orders, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to go live, and I think it's going to be flooded with pre-orders. It's I just hope there's something in place to prevent people from buying a dozen of them at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
me too. Me too.
It's that type of an event, I think, where there could be the scalpers who's going to just get there and buy 10 of them and then resell them on eBay for 3 times the price because no one else could buy one. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Mepper says Tyrael didn't get invited. Was that because he only covers hardware and doesn't develop software? I mean, Tyrael Woods is amazing. I met him at Gamescom in person. Finally, we've known each other for a long time, but I was able to finally hang out with him. It was a blast. We had a really good time together. He's a really good dude, and I wish he was going. I mean, Nathy's not going. Thrill Seeker didn't get invited, and it's not slight on anybody. Like, I know that they're upset, and I would be too. Like, I mean, I'm going. The only reason I'm going is because I'm going on behalf of Impact Reality to represent some of our clients who are developers that can't make it. So that's why I was invited to go. But I mean, I'm not getting invited to go as an influencer. Todd's going out to California, but he's actually not even able to get into the event. He's going just because he knows that it's going to be a special time, and he wants to be there for some of the after events and things that are going on. So a lot of people aren't getting in. I know there's people that are mad. I wish, like, I want everybody there. I want Nathy there. I want Thrill there. It makes sense to have them there. It's just, this is not what that conference is about now. Like, again, I wish I wish it was OC still. Like I wish it was Oculus Connect, and that's what it was about. It was about getting all of us together, in open forum. It's just not that anymore. Now I'm glad it's in person in some way, and we get some, representation there in some way. We do have some of the meta, like I know Gamertag is going to be there. I know Jasmine's going to be there, and a lot of and it's not even all of the meta ambassadors or the meta program people.
Cash Sherry, you're going to to be there.
Yeah.
There's a few of them.
Yeah, it's not all of them, but a good portion are going to be there. So that's great. We're going to have representation, for influencers in the market. But it's just not that event anymore. That's why they didn't get
Well, and
invited.
I
And
don't
that's
even
why
know.
Tyrael didn't get invited.
I don't know if anymore is the word. It's not that event this year, right? Like this is the first time they've done it where they've come back. Maybe they're just ramping up. Maybe this is how they're going to start out this year. Next year it's going to be a bigger event. Unless you know
Yeah.
something I don't know.
No, I don't know, and maybe I'll get a better feel when I get out there. Like I said,
Mhm.
I was very lucky enough to go there to represent some developers that are clients of mine or clients of Impact Reality. That's why I'm going, because I have meetings with them, with people out there. So I am going. Meta is bringing me in, which is great. But I want everybody to be there. I want it to be something different. Like I want Nathy there, and I want Thrill, and I
As Zim
want
Talk's not invited
Tyrael
either.
and Zim. Yeah, I mean that would be amazing.
I think Zim's still
Um,
coming though.
Yeah, I think he is too. He is
Yeah.
too. Meta Skiba says Meta clearly doesn't care about the people championing their product that have grown VR to where it is. I will say this. Again, I want it to be that. It's just I don't know if they think they want it to be that. Like there are events out there, and that it used to be. Oculus Connect used to be that. Like it was, it was a lot of people going there because of Oculus and wanted to show it off as much as possible. Their focus is different now. It's just different. So their focus is mainly on their developers and how they help them develop for their new platforms and how they assist them. And that's going to be a lot of what this is. This is going to be developers coming out, and there's going to be some developers doing talks on processes and things and how they became successful. It's going to be a lot of that. Again, I wish it was different. I wanted to. Maybe they do 2 events. That would make more sense to me. Do a developer event that are just for the developers and the tech people, and then do
The next
an
2
event.
days are followed by Meta Connect.
Yeah, I mean we've seen
For
that
everyone.
before. You know
Yeah.
who does that? Gamescom does it. Gamescom does DevCom first, and then they do Gamescom, which is open to the public. So maybe they think about doing that at some point, and then they can represent both, right? Then you can make the event make it a couple of days early and make it an event around developers and doing training and giving information to developers to help them develop for the platform that they have. And then you open it up and get into like a more gaming event and and make it a traditional OC event, like an OC event used to be. And then you bring in everybody, you bring in the creators, and then you bring in, you open it up to some public even maybe and let people get tickets and get into it. Absolutely. I would be all for that. Maybe we will
Daniel
see.
Tez says, "Did you sign a non-disparagement agreement?"
I did not. So I can say whatever the fuck I want to say. I ain't saying shit.
That's
And
hilarious.
I will too. If
We
I
will definitely have not signed
trust
that.
me, guys. I'm telling you right now. I'll tell you this right now. If I go there and this freaking whatever they do and they announce, if this thing falls on its face and is another like PlayStation showcase that we just saw, I will be coming back here and I will be dumping shit all over Meta like you won't believe. I am beholden to nobody there. We are not affiliated with Meta in any way other than they invited us there to go to this thing. If I have problems with Meta, we are going to say it for sure.
Yeah, we
Or-
are not
Sure.
Oculus ambassadors or whatever they're called nowadays.
That being said, I love you, Mark. No, I'm just kidding.
That being said, if you want to be this one, I'll be one.
I don't want to be one. I don't want to be one anymore. I don't want it. It's amazing, and it does afford a lot of people a lot of things to assist them with their programs, but we don't need it.
I don't know. Meta has done a lot for VR, and to just granted,
I don't have a problem with Meta.
a lot of people don't like them, but I think what they are doing and what they can do for VR is just going to get better. So
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that hate Meta. There are people out there that absolutely hate Meta and they don't
I
care
think
what
that's
they've
silly.
done for virtual reality. Whatever they've done, they're evil and they're awful. And I'm not that way. And now
Right.
Meta has fallen on their face as much as anybody else, and I will be there to kick their asses every time they do. But they have done so much to push VR forward that I cannot ignore
Right?
that. I
We
can't
wouldn't be
just
here
say
today without them. So yeah.
I have to like again, it's to me, no corporation out there is, that beautiful corporation that is out for the people. They're not. There's nobody is that way. I'm just happy that Meta is involved with virtual reality because if they weren't, there wouldn't be the movement that we've had in the past 3 to 5 years.
There wouldn't be
Um,
an immersed visor. That's the most important takeaway of this whole conversation.
yeah. Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, I mean, I take the good with the bad. Like I know there's bad, and I kill them for the bad as much as anybody. You know what I mean? And every time they do something stupid, I'm like, God damn, Meta, why do you do stupid things? Like, why do you do these things? Why do you have somebody like Boz come out and completely dump all over people and just and say stupid things? And it just aggravates me. I'm like, why? Like I'm like, because I want to root for Meta because I want to root for virtual reality and I want it to be good, right? Like I want to be able to, but then they do stupid things that just drives me nuts, and I have to say something about it. But I am not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? I'm not going to do
Right.
that. I'm not going to say, well, I'm just never going to touch a Meta VR headset. Well, I'm not going to do that. I want to enjoy virtual reality. Life is too short for me to just go, I'm turning it off. Forget it. I want to enjoy what I'm enjoying. I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna use my Quest Pro. I'm hoping that they make some great games. And then you know what? And then we'll try and take them to task and hold them accountable for how they act. It's all you can do. It's all you can ask for. And you know what? More power to you. If you're the person that has the morality to say, absolutely not. I don't care what they have to offer. I'm never touching anything that has to do with Meta ever again.
Good for
You
you.
can do that. You can do that. Good for you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that.
I'm not
gonna
doing
do
that either.
But I will be here I will be here because I think that's what needs to be done is to take them to task when they fall on their face or they fuck up.
Right.
And that's what we're here for. Like when they screw up, that's what we have to hold them accountable. And that's when we tell them they screw up and tell them, you know what I mean? So just like any company, I would do that with Valve. I do it with Valve all the time. I do it with PlayStation all the time. I love
Constantly.
PlayStation. I grew up on PlayStation
How many times have we shit on Pimax?
all the time. And I love Pimax. I love
Right?
the headset.
The
Like I
headset's
think
great.
and there's good people that work there, but they they step on their dick all the time. God damn these companies. They just I don't know.
It's frustrating.
It is.
Speaking of
again,
Quest,
but it's every company. You got to take them
Yeah.
to task. That's how you hold them accountable. You know what I mean? You don't just ignore it and say I'm never going to touch anything, and you just walk away from it. If you want to do that, you
that
can.
does
But
nobody any good.
yeah, it does nobody. I want to enjoy my life here. I want to be involved with this. This is something I'm passionate about. So I don't turn it off. What I do is I try and like take them to task, let them know when I'm unhappy about something. Whether that means anything to them, I don't know, but it makes me feel better.
I don't care. It makes us feel good. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's
All
give
right.
away a couple Quest keys. We got 3 keys to Alvo on Quest to give away. Thanks to the good people over there, Steve.
Hey, D's in chat. D, where you been, girl? You were supposed to be here tonight.
I know, right?
He was like, I'm going to be a little late. She's a little late.
She is a little late. All right, first winner is Kubo92.
Nice. So this is a Quest Alvo Key, right?
Quest Alvo Key. So let me write this down before I
Congrats,
go to the next
dude.
guy. Kubo.
Oh, did she not get Did she not get a link? Oh my God, I might not have sent her a link.
You have one job before the show.
Oh my God, I may have not forgotten. I forgot to send her a link. Hang on. How do I get a link? Oh yeah. Oh my God. She's like, I'm here, yo. Hang on.
I got to figure out how do I pick another winner. I figured it out. All right. There's a button I couldn't.
Okay, well, I don't feel too bad. She just got back from dinner 10:45, so it's not like I'm too late. Here, D, there's your link. Get in here, girl.
Winner number 2 is Hussein X. And winner number 3
Hussein X, nice.
is Decadent.
Ooh,
Decadent.
Decadent?
Decadent. I like it.
Nice. I like the name, Decadent.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
All right. Hit me up on Discord. That's the easiest way to get hold of me. and I will get
Did
you.
you send Technoglitch his key?
No, I haven't yet, but I do.
Okay.
I just got him yesterday. So
We literally
me a
just got the
message.
keys yesterday, and we will send you one right after the show.
Yep, send me a message. and
Todd
I'll,
promises. Todd promises.
I promise.
We had to go we had to chase him. We had to chase Steve. Steve's busy, man. Steve's a busy
He's a busy
dude, and
man.
he's like
Yeah.
he's running around. He's got 3 different things he's got his hand in, so it just took us a little while to track him down for those keys. So it happens. We didn't have him beforehand, so cool. All right, so yeah, MetaConnect. Todd, are you excited? You're going to be going, in a
crazy
capacity
excited.
just to hang out, and you and Skiva are going to be roomie buddies. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, we've already been invited to 4 parties and get-togethers in the VR
Yeah, cool.
world,
It's pretty cool. So we have so it sounds like Resolution Games is going to do a cool little party out there.
Yeah, on Tuesday night. Yeah.
And then the Silicon Valley virtual reality is going to do a get together out there, which is pretty awesome. And then there's a couple other cool events, I think, too, right?
Yep. That's so far that's the plan, is hooking up with all the VR peeps that didn't get invites.
I may have heard a little rumor that we may see a little Alex VR out there as well.
Oh, I heard he wasn't going to come, so that's exciting.
Unless I just said something I wasn't supposed to say. Ooh.
Ooh.
He didn't say I was under NDA, but
No,
I don't know, maybe.
too bad. It's too late.
It'll be fun, man. It'll be a good time. I mean, like these are the things, but like when you have special things like this, like where Todd is flying from Canada to California and he can't even get into the event, but he's flying because you feel that something special is going to be there, something special is going to happen, and you want to be there for
time
it.
in how many years that people have gathered at the Meta head office? Like, this is a big deal. Even if we can't get inside, just the people that are going to be there in the area, networking and talking with each other, and the conversations that are going to be had are going to be priceless. So, yeah, I'm very excited to go.
Yeah, for sure.
It would have been cooler if I could come in the door, but
I know, right?
maybe I'll sneak in.
Hey, can you grab the picture of that we posted announcement that we did this week of our, you know what I mean, right?
Nope. I don't know what you mean.
We put a picture up of a new person,
Oh, yeah.
and then we have this person, Chinatown D. What is up, Chinatown D?
What's up, yos?
How was dinner? Where'd you go?
She made it.
You
Dude, we
made it?
went to this steakhouse, Saltgrass.
Saltgrass Steakhouse.
cool.
Nice.
It was,
Did you have steak?
well, of course, dude. I
People
had
drive me nuts when they go to
16
steak.
ounce
Yeah, but hold on.
ribeye,
People drive me nuts when they go to steakhouses. You don't order fucking
Right.
steak.
They have chicken.
Like, yeah, they go to a steak. They go to a steakhouse. They're like, yeah, I love a nice piece of salmon.
Chicken.
Like, what the fuck? You're in a steakhouse. Order a piece of steak.
steak. Yeah, no, everything is made in house apparently. So like the ranch, everything is in house. So it
Cool.
was freaking phenomenal, dude. But yeah, no, today was Ruuts' birthday. So
Mhm. Happy birthday, Ruuts.
exactly. So I took him to breakfast this morning, and then we might have
Nice.
went to the dispensary, and then
Nice. Moon rocks? Get some moon rocks? Wait
no, they were out, dude.
a minute. How do you be out of moon rocks?
They've been waiting. But
Wow.
Oh, man. Happy
but then we
birthday,
went
Roots. I love Roots.
everything, like he didn't know about any of this. I was
cool.
scheming, dude. So then after breakfast, after the dispensary, we went to miniature golf. Because we
Nice.
always play walkabout. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, let's IRL walkabout. Then the big thing, the piece de resistance.
You bought him a new car.
Okay.
Casa,
Yeah,
Casa,
right.
Casa,
Casa Bonita?
Casa Bonito?
No.
Casa Bonita.
It actually ties into the show. I took him we did Sandbox VR.
Oh, cool.
No way. That's cool. Was it
Yeah.
the first time for both of you guys?
Yeah.
That's sick. How was it?
Best tracking freaking everything.
Gun
Yeah, right?
tracking. Yeah.
So what'd you guys play in Sandbox? What was the
Something with the shard. It was kind of like dragon shard or some stuff, like I forget what the name of it was, but it was
do you yell down the hallway to Roots, tell him that all these people in here are wishing him a happy birthday.
Yep.
I know. I wish I could, but he's probably got his headphones on knee deep already in
World of Warcraft.
hardcore World of Warcraft.
Nice.
He's been
Nice.
itching to get back into that. So, yeah.
Happy birthday, Ruuts.
Happy birthday, Ruuts.
brother. I love you, man. I love you.
But yeah, I wanted to make. He always said that nobody ever made a fuss about his birthday, and that man means a lot to me. And I wanted to show that he is worth fussing over.
Hell
So,
yeah, man. I
That's
love
awesome.
it, man. I love it.
Seekers of the Shard is
Well,
the game.
Seekers of the Shard. That's it.
Well, hell yeah, that was an amazing reason for you to be late for the show. So I'm
Yes.
glad you did it. I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
Plus, we had Renji anyway, which was crazy.
Yeah.
That was on. You got to go back and watch this interview
Oh, I
with
will.
Renji. It was freaking awesome, man. It was awesome.
Yeah.
D, we have a new member for the team.
Oh,
We have
hang
a
on a
new
second.
member of the team.
Before we no, wait.
What are you doing to me, Todd?
Yeah.
What's
What
that?
up, Will?
Tell me it's no game.
The Shard.
Oh,
Its
this is
power
it.
enslaves the spirits
Oh,
of
this
the
is
dead.
Sandbox.
This is what we did.
Who dares enter here?
Oh, that's sick.
Use your weapons!
We got enemies! All right, here they come. Hostile, hostile. Ha! Which way do you guys want to do? I'm going waterway fast. Oh,
Yeah. This was so cool.
She's chasing us!
back up. To the left.
Oh my goodness!
The tower's collapsing!
Be haptic vest.
Got water,
They were best. And crackers. You know. Crackers on.
Yeah, there'll definitely be epic stuff.
Attack!
We've got to destroy that shard!
Dude, that dragon was fucking.
That was really cool.
But yeah, no.
Your internet.
I know.
It was.
I
You gotta
told
get a
you
new
what I
pro.
think it
You
is.
gotta get a new plan or something.
No, it's not my internet. It's my NIC and my computer. I need new computers, but I need.
Yeah, you need a new computer, girl. Just keep us like that's one frame every 6
One frame
seconds.
every
Oh, was it that bad?
It was bad. It was frozen
I
for
asked
me
you
in
if
the
it was
beginning.
janky. Oh, it was
No, I said it was frozen. I
That's what you're
said
asking,
this. Hey, it's
dude.
frozen
Come
for
on.
me in the beginning.
Oh.
Very cool, man. That
It-
is
it
super cool.
was.
I've done a couple of location-based things. I've seen a whole bunch. I went to IAPA last year and saw a million different of them. It was awesome. But did Ruuts and you enjoy it? Did Ruuts get into it?
Oh yeah. You know, I shocker, but I had some jank. Like freaking the connection. It was freaking horrible at first. Like screen tearing, freaking choppy audio.
Mm,
He's like, all right, let me redo this. Got back in, it was fine.
it was so
So,
cool. It's so
but
cool.
yeah, it was so cool, dude, because he had the hunter, so he had the crossbow. I
Yeah.
had the sword and I had the fireballs that I was throwing out. Dude, my fucking arm was tired AF after, dude. Not
I
even like
love it.
an hour into it, you know, but it's only like 30 minutes.
Hell yeah, man.
But
Cool.
it was so
Cool.
Very cool. All right, so we were talking about a little bit before. D, we have a new member of our Q2C VR Gamer Live team. This person, D, has been extremely busy. Super tough for her to get all of the timestamps done and do the show. It's just too hard. So D is going to focus on the show. She's going to focus on the wheel. She's going to focus on taking care of me because I need as much taken care of as I can. And then, yeah. And then we have a new member that's going to help us take care of all of our timestamps. He's doing this all the way from England on a laptop. We kind of reached out and we were like, we need help. We need help with our timestamps. We just don't have the bandwidth to do it. I don't have the time to do it. Todd definitely doesn't. And like I said, D is kind of like in the same boat.
And YouTube doesn't like me, so
And YouTube has kind of locked her out, so she can't even
Right.
get in there now. So we reached out for help, and this guy was almost immediately like, "Boom, I'll help." And he helps,
Tribute.
and he helps everybody. Somebody who went and helped just recently at the Game On Expo, spent a whole bunch of money to come all the way out there and donate his time, and that would be Qcreator. This is a very cool picture of Mike.
Didn't that turn out good?
Yeah, did you do that?
I need
in,
an updated
Mid-Journey?
picture now,
I did
dude.
it in Midjourney. Yeah, I
In
had him
Mid-Journey, that's
send
awesome.
me a
Yeah, we need
picture,
to do it.
and
Let's
then-
do it. We need it because we're kind of out of the
Yeah, we need to
character
update the
thing
intro
now.
too.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to D, did you see our new thumbnails?
Midjourney visions.
I
we have a
did.
new
Those
guy.
are cool looking,
Yeah.
dude.
But we'll show the thumbnail in a second. We'll throw a couple of the thumbnails that the guy's doing for us. He's doing a really good job. But Mike's busy. He's in England, so it's like super early in the morning. He can't be here for this one right now. But thank you, Mike, for taking care of this for us. We really appreciate it. We know it's hard. It's going to be not easy for you to do this. So it means a lot. Thank you. When the community steps up to help us out, man, makes me feel good inside, and we super appreciate it. Doing timestamps it's an important thing, D. Like, you've been doing it for a long time. It's important because we do these shows, and they're like, it's a long show. It's 3 hours long. Not everybody has time to sit through all that show. We would love for people to be able to pick and choose and go, okay, I want to sit and listen through this section or that section. That was a great interview with Renji, but it would be nice to be able to kind of like click through and see what you want to see without sitting here for 2 hours, kind of going through that.
Exactly.
And then we're going to be actually cutting these shows up for little individual videos, so we have some more content. And that's going to allow us to do that. So kudos to you, Mike. You are an awesome person, and you're awesome. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So anytime you guys see a timestamp, that was Q taking care of it for us. All right. Whoa, what time is it? Holy crap, it's 10 after 11 already.
I know, right?
It's only 10 after 9, dude. Come on.
You're Midwest. All right, let's kind of get together on closing this thing out. Doug, let's show a couple of those thumbnails if you got them. I'd love to see. I can tell you this. Number one, I have no artistic bone in my body. I've tried my hand at thumbnail creating. I'm just not good at it. Todd, who does have some, he's got some chops at thumbnails, but to me, it's like an art form almost. You almost have to find somebody out there who does thumbnails. And man, I think we found somebody who's really good. Todd has been looking and he interviewed a whole bunch of people, and we had people submit thumbnails and doing some editing for us, and we found some good ones. I think
112 people.
112 people. That's insane, bro.
This in the last 3 days. That's all I've been doing. But I need to read through them, right? I need to figure out, who's going to be a good fit, who's the right price.
Yeah, and it's like a stupid thing like thumbnails, right? You're like, what's the big deal of a thumbnail? But I guess it's important. So I mean, and I want them to look good, right? I hate when they look like shit. There's so many times where I look at a thumbnail and I'm like, man, that thing is ugly. Yeah. But what are you gonna do? I don't know. Nothing you can do about it. D, what do you got going on this week? What have you been playing?
I have been playing the hell out of Alvo.
Me too. I did play some Alvo this week too, yeah.
And then I did a mod solo for my first time, and I played Portal 2, dude.
Oh, how is it? I didn't get a chance to do it yet. I bought it the other day.
Great, but I don't know if it was just because I was connected wirelessly. I'm gonna try it with the link cable. Ruuts has one, but I had to dumb down the graphics and the resolution because it was screen tearing just all over. So
yeah, I mean, it happens with mods, especially with mods, because you're kind of making something that's not optimized to do. So that's why if you are going to get into modding, you probably would want to boost up to a 30 series at some point. I mean, I know that 28 Super is still kick-ass card, but for modding, it's probably a little outdated. But I mean, 2080 is pretty. 28 Super it's a kick-ass card. You can pretty much play any VR game that's built for VR because those are optimized for VR. But when you get into the modding stuff, when you get a game that's not optimized to be in VR or not built from the ground up to be in VR, it just takes so much more GPU power that yeah.
Let's see, when I played wirelessly, why can't I think of the freaking game? Light Brigade. Again, certain times where it was choppy or the audio just would hitch up and everything, but once I plugged in that freaking link cable, smooth as freaking silk, dude.
Nice.
So
it helps.
I'm hoping that maybe that's the case with this too.
Yeah, especially
it was so much fun.
Especially Wi-Fi. If you're not in the same room where the router is, it can definitely give you issues, especially when you're trying to do something like that. Bluebell says I still have a 1660.
Ooh. It's a TI though. It's a good card.
Well, it's a TI, but still, 1660. That's Bluebell. Come on, come on, Bluebell. It's time to get a new card. Come on.
Okay, I got one more thumbnail I want to show you.
Yeah, let's see it.
This one's good.
That's a pretty good thumbnail, dude. I gotta
So
admit.
I've switched this thumbnail around, and if you go to Q2CVRgamer.com now, I've embedded in under the videos section, there is a constant link to anything that we play live, whether it's gameplay or podcasts or whatever. And this is the static thumbnail that'll sit there until we go live somewhere.
That's pretty cool, man. I like the picture.
Mhm.
It's good. It's a nice picture. My wife saw this the other day, and she's just like this. She just like smiled when she saw it. I think your wife said she did the same thing.
Yeah, she was standing beside me. She just started to smile. I'm like, that's exactly what I wanted to see, right? Like,
Yeah,
it just invokes smiles. I like it. Yeah,
yeah. I think I'm probably making fun of you there in some way. I just
more,
have to-
more
I
than
have a
likely.
feeling.
Yeah.
Too funny. Yeah, but I mean, I just want to say shout out to the guy that did the thumbnails if he's ever watching back later or if he's editing this video later. Nice job, dude.
Good job,
Good job.
Chad.
Chad.
Chad. He's a Chad. The Chad.
So I was gonna get into we're getting late in the show, and I was gonna get into Hellsweeper. It's on our thumbnail, and I wanted to talk about it because there's a lot of controversy about the PlayStation VR 2 version of Hellsweeper. But three things. We're running out of time, so I don't want to get into it. I only had a chance to get in and look around a little bit, and did a little bit of gameplay, but not enough to where I want to like go off on anything. And then 3, it's going to be something we're going to feature on Strangers in the Night on Sunday.
And
So,
I didn't
yeah,
even get into it. I couldn't get it to install, so I
Right.
tried.
And
I'll
so
have to
yeah,
keep
I said Sunday for Strangers in the Night, so not Friday. So no Friday Strangers in the Night on Virtual Strangers. No Friday because Wes is going to be away going to like a rock show.
Mhm.
So for the weekend, so we are going to go and take Friday's show, merge it with Sunday's show. So you will see myself, Wes, and Ruuts on Sunday, and we're going to feature Hellsweeper, Events at Unity Farm, which is a new horror
Mhm.
game that is dropping on Saturday, and one other title that I don't remember at this point. But we're going to feature those 3 games, and we'll maybe see a gameplay in there. So join us on Sunday, Virtual Strangers. I do want to look at one thing. Talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Socialize.
Well, I'm glad you went and did like location-based VR. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
only done it once, and there's a couple places in Calgary here that I should go do it more, I think. But
I really want to try Squid Game. Like I wanted to do
I
that
saw
one.
that on their little trailer reel there.
They just started taking appointments or whatever
Oh, like
for it.
reservations or whatever for it?
Reservations, right.
Right.
And then I think they start on the 29th.
See, I think that's the benefit of living in a country that's population is only 30 million. We don't have reservations. We just walk into those places and play. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't walk. You can't walk into those places because you can't get through the snow.
That's
You
true.
have to wade your way through the snow to get
we
into those
ski.
places. Kenzai Gaming VR has stopped in. What is up, man? How you doing? I did see ET2K9 now has come in and said hi, but Cardi B stopped in late. There was a ton of people that
been in
came
chat
in
for a while. He's been chatting since the interview.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of people that stopped in. Awesome Tatum has stopped in after we had said our hellos. So I know there's even more. I'm sure that stopped in to watch. So it was
TBC
pretty
is
cool.
over on TikTok as usual. Appreciate it.
So here's what I just wanted to look up because this absolutely boggles my mind. I love Virtual Strangers. I love Wes. I love Ruuts. I love being a part of that show, and I think the 3 of us have awesome. The 3 of us, you, me, you, Todd, D. I think we have really good chemistry. That's what kind of makes it work, right? D. When D came on and like kind of like completed the puzzle, really good
Oh.
chemistry. I feel that me and it's tough to find this in different places, but I feel like myself and Ruuts and Wes have a really, really good chemistry together. So when we get together and we don't always agree on everything, which kind of makes things good, which I think it's sometimes, but I think when you get in with people that you really enjoy and you're really friends with and you really have a good time at what you're doing, it shows. I just want to shout out Virtual Strangers. It's sitting at 3,320 subscribers. Here's these numbers, guys. 3,320 subscribers for Virtual Strangers. The show that the 3 of us did last Sunday, okay?
Game of the month.
Game of the Month show,
Mhm.
okay, on Sunday. A podcast currently has 23,000 views.
Wow.
That
Yep.
is insane. That is insane for a podcast. Podcasts don't do those numbers. I mean,
Wow, that's
general
crazy.
podcasts may do those numbers. VR podcasts don't do those numbers. To have a channel that has 3,320 subscribers, get 23,000 views on a podcast is insane, dude. I mean,
Yep.
of course, it's the one where my audio sounds like I'm the bottom of a well.
Right.
My audio is terrible, and there's a humming noise throughout the entire thing. But I just wanted to say shout out to Ruuts and Wes and Virtual Strangers, and then me for being on there too. I enjoyed being with them a lot, and I think we do really good shows together, and I think it shows. I think it's finally paying off. I mean, a lot of the work that Wes does, that Ruuts does, that I do, that put into these shows. I mean, doing 2 shows a week, lots of hours, lots of sticking to our guns, doing what we think is right, not doing maybe always the easy thing, but doing what we think is right to do it the right way. I think it's finally paying off, and no more deserving people than Ruuts and Wes. And guys, whoever's out there watching, whoever's the 23,000 out there watching, hit the fucking subscribe button.
Right? That's what I'm looking at the thing. I'm like, what the
Guys,
hell?
you're watching this. You're 23,000 people came to watch. Go hit the subscribe button for God.
At least hit the thumbs up button for God's sake.
It don't cost you anything. Just hit the subscribe button. God,
Wow.
man. I mean, 23,000.
Come on, man.
Come on,
That's
man.
crazy.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
man.
I have so much fun. I mean, I have fun doing every one of the shows I do. I mean, doing this show that we do together is one of the best parts of my day. Doing Virtual Strangers is not always easy for me because Wes has worked night shift for years, and he's a late night person, and Ruuts is 2 hours behind me. And a lot of times for me, I'm up at it's 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning to do those shows. And I don't even care, man. That's how much fun I have. I'll stay up all night long to do those.
You never sleep anyway, dude. Come on.
That's true. My wife the other day, she's like, "Dude, something's got to change. You have to stop." And I'm like, "I just can't. I just can't. I just can't.
Yeah.
I just
You don't
can't."
have to stop. Just break. Take a break, dude.
I don't want to
know.
do that either.
I was going to take a
Because if
break on
you don't
Saturday.
take a
but-
break, your body's gonna break, dude.
I was going to take a break on Saturday, but I think I'm going to go do MRTV Saturday too. So I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, that's cool. MRTV. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
I
exciting.
think we're trying to work it out. We're trying to work it out now. But all right, guys, I think that's probably going to do it for our show tonight. Like I said, Hellsweeper we will cover on Virtual Strangers. Come see us there, and we'll go through all of that with Wes and Ruuts. And I think I'll have more time in there for then, and I think I'm going to have lots to say. And I don't know. Me and Wes have not been seeing eye to eye on a lot of the PlayStation VR stuff with these games, so who knows what we'll find. We maybe we're going toe to toe on this one. I don't know. I haven't heard his thoughts yet, but I am going to try and go into Gazler's before then and beat his score because he's sitting at number 4 right now on the leaderboard.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah, he's sitting at number 4, and I'm working my way there. You got to put a lot of time into Gazler's to get good.
I was in the
because
30s. I thought I was doing good.
Yeah, you have to work hard at it. I may go back in there tonight. I was going to think about doing some Firewall later tonight too, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Either Gazler's or Firewall. I'm going into something after the show. So
I don't know. It's tough to get back into Firewall for me, man.
I might get back.
I
into No
know.
Man's Sky.
It's been a little while since I'm hoping they got some things fixed for Firewall, and somebody mentioned it today. And I think it was in Betty's Discord. She's like, "You want Firewall?" And and Alex had said something too. So I don't know if I can get a good crew and get in there. I think I'll try Firewall, but if not, I'm definitely going back to Gazler's because I want that. I want to beat Wes's score for sure.
Yeah,
by Sunday. Yeah, by Sunday, I need to get in there and beat it.
I just want to say No Man's Sky updates have made PlayStation VR 2 version even better than it was before when I put it at number 1 for my list of PlayStation
I
games.
played
It
that
is still
before
number
all
1.
of 24 minutes before. After this update, what was it, last week or the week before? I played
couple
it
weeks.
for like 2.5 hours. Like it was just, I got sucked into it.
It's ridiculously good.
It's
You know who
so
loves
much
when you get
better
sucked
now.
into it?
My mom!
Yeah, she does. Now you
Dude's
can't
now-
tell
dude's
if
now
that's
waiting
me
for
or
it.
I know. Now I'm waiting for it in mouth
Oh
image. So that's
shit, dude! I was actually gonna do one with Renji on there, and I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it in front of Renji. I won't do it. Too funny. Guys, this was an enormously fun show to do. I'm so glad that we had a chance to do it. No show next week, guys. We will not be here next week because myself and Todd will be out at MetaConnect. But we will be here the week after, and I hope we have a shit ton of stories.
Keep an eye on our TikTok show channel. Hopefully, we'll have some short form from events next week. That's kind of my goal. So,
yeah, maybe we'll try and go live or something out from there. That would be cool for like a little live, impromptu, quick, short live thing.
AMA from Connect.
Yeah, something cool. Especially if there's something big. If something big happens and we get freaking GTA San Andreas all of a sudden, they're like, hey, it's coming with Quest 3. I think we'll probably go live just to talk about it because I think that would blow the roof off the house. So
exactly right.
I'm hoping we hear something exciting. They're usually always trying to have one surprise. I think so. I'm hoping maybe we'll see some more barbecue sauce. I don't know. We'll see. Sweet baby Rays. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. For D and Todd, and thank you, Renji. We'll see you next week or 2 weeks.
Bye, guys. 2 weeks.
Bye.